Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again.
There is great disturbance in the Force.
I have felt
It is unavoidable. It is your destiny.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got some things to talk about tonight. Who the hell's going to play games when there's not all this news going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are live. Let's go. Special MAGGCAST for Friday night Live. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and we are ready to rock and roll. And by the way, I found out what was going on with the whole audio thing, like the audio-video thing that was happening with the screen. It's actually Streamlabs, just as I suspected. It wasn't YouTube, wasn't my internet, it's not my PC. It was Streamlabs. So they had done their whole, they did like a major overhaul of their UI and all that stuff. And yeah. Well, then it was off by like 1/8 of a second. But you know what the thing is? I talk so damn fast that my mouth barely can be processed by the screen anyway. But that's the way it goes, folks. That's right, Archwar Angel. Welcome to hell.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Welcome to hell. We got some things to talk about tonight. Listen, man, like I said, I originally put up the post this morning on the channel, okay? And the post was, what game do you want me to play? Lego Batman? You want me to play 007, right? And so I did that. I put it out there, and about 100 people or so, whatever, did the poll and all that jazz. It was overwhelmingly 007, right? So now here's the thing. What's up, Brandon? How you doing? All day it was eating away at me. And I'm sitting there going, how the hell can I haven't released a video because I did 5 videos last week up until this week. Plus I did I didn't do X and C this week. Plus I did MAGGCAST. I'm exhausted. You know what I mean? And it came to the point where I'm just like, I can't. You know what I mean? The time difference, I got the jet lag, which, I'm over now. But, still, it took a few days to get that under control. Then, then I did MAGGCAST. And then I've just been wiped out. You know what I mean? Just wiped out doing those vlogs and everything else. They're fun. And I love doing those. I love doing those vlogs. But, when I got all that together and everything else, holy, man. Wiped out. But anyways, tonight, and I'm just like, am I really going to play games tonight, guys? Am I really going to play games tonight? What's up, Iron Balls? How you doing? And I'm like, all this news. There's 1,000 things happened in the last 72 hours, and I'm gonna sit here and be playing 007. Are you kidding me? We gotta talk about it, man. We gotta talk about it. Anyways, welcome to the chat, everybody. Welcome here. I'm so happy that you're all here. You guys are certainly the greatest people. Okay, you guys are the best. You guys are the cream of the crop. You know how it is.
Cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
That's right, Macho Man. You know what's talking about. What's up, maggots? Okay, so let's get right into this situation, folks. What we're going to be doing. What's up, Dion? The name of this podcast tonight is called The Next 100 Days. As we all know how the first 100 days went, and then the showcase and everything, it was excellent. I thought, Asha's first 100 days were fine. Build, sort of reigniting the Xbox fan base and all that kind of stuff, and doing what you got to do. And it's been working out great. You know what I mean? Then the showcase was fantastic. The fan fest was fantastic, and you know what I mean? It was all there, and everything's moving in the right direction now. As I had already said a million times before, tonight is going to be one of those nights, folks, where I'm going to be the I told you so kind of podcast, which I have been for about 2 or 3 years. And it has gotten me blocked. It's gotten me banned. It's gotten me shit talked. It's gotten everything you could possibly imagine for everything that I have said has absolutely come true. 100% of it has come true. And it's about to. And you know the funny thing is, and this is what I said the other day. I also did Crossfire last night for about an hour and a half or whatever. I just jumped in with Mooch for a bit, and we just had a little chit-chat, and it was nice. Mostly just asking me questions about, LA and stuff like that. We really didn't get into too deep of a conversation. I think they did after I left. But the thing is...
Welcome to hell.
Is that what ended up happening is that now she has to get to work, right? And this is exactly what I said was going to happen. I said, you know what? The easy part is getting in there. You want to get people excited. You want to do the fan fest. You're going to do the showcase. You're going to show off all the great stuff that you got coming. Great. Then there's going to be that point. And the point is, hey, now it's time to get to work. Now it's time to, okay, we got to buckle down and do this. Now, the thing is, some people, of course, you know how the internet is. People are going to misinterpret everything that goes on. They're going to say, well, Mag is defending Asha, or he's shitting all over Xbox, or whatever, right? Everybody's going to say all those kind of things. And that's fine. Say whatever the hell you want to say. The problem is people don't understand, the complexities. And, of course, critical thinking seems to lack very deeply in the online social media world. But that's a whole other story. The thing is, let's talk about her specifically. Okay? She walked into this. Now, I'm sure she was warned ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she was warned ahead of time as to what the hell she was going to be, what she was going to be inheriting, right? And I think that happened months before she even got the job or whatever else. But you know how it is. The thing is, when people get a job, if she walked in third week of February, she didn't find out the second week of February. She knew back in September that she was getting this job. It takes a long time to build up, prep up for the job, do the research. You know what I mean? She probably spent months doing the research on the business, what's happening with it, what's going on with Xbox specifically and all that jazz. And then she knew that what she was getting herself into. However, there's only so much you can research before you're actually put in a position and saying, okay, well, now you're hands-on, let's get to it, right? So now that she's been in there for that 100 days and got her feet wet a little bit and understanding what's happening here. Yeah, right. Xbox Series X. Yeah, growing pains, And then she's going to be in there learning and understanding. It's just like when you get a new job. You know what I mean? You get a new job, you get in there. It's not like you're going to be a superstar day one. Unless you hire me, of course. You know how that goes. But hey. Not everybody can be me, okay? I'm just kidding. But you know how it is? It takes time. But now she's understanding what's going on. And this is why I actually said from the beginning, hiring somebody outside of the gaming industry was probably the best idea. And the reason why I feel it was the best idea, because you're not going to get a biased look. Now, I know people disagree with me. That's totally fine. I've seen other YouTubers have their podcasts and do their videos and everything else, and that's totally fine. Everybody's opinion is valid, you know what I mean, and respected, especially by me. And I'm just saying, I think the best idea, a lot of people say it wasn't a good idea to hire someone outside of the gaming industry. I said it was the perfect idea. And the reason why, once again, you're getting that third-party sort of unbiased view as to what's happening in the gaming space. So that you can look at it and not say, oh, well, my buddy runs Bethesda, or my buddy's, my dear friend over there is running Naughty Dog, or whatever, or, my second cousin's running, is the chief marketing, whatever, for Coalition. And you know what I mean? And they get kind of lost in the mire of the gaming industry. Oh, well, this is how gaming is and this and that. No, what you needed was someone who's looking at it from a strictly ice-cold business perspective. And I think that was exactly what they needed. What I said before, and this is something I always still say, is tough love. They needed the tough love. And that you cannot grow as a business, especially if you're, I don't want to say the word floundering, but certainly not doing great. What's up, Plume? How you doing, buddy? Shout out to Plume in the chat. Elemental here, I could talk about whatever you want. But we're going to be talking about this first. When you've got a business that's not going in the direction you want, you cannot coddle and cuddle, okay? This is not modern day school, okay? Well, little Jimmy was having a bad day, so I'm sorry he stabbed your son, or whatever you know what I mean? Or telling the principal, this actually happened to one of my friends who's a teacher. A kid told the teacher. Now, imagine if this happened in the 80s, folks. This little kid told the teacher to F off. So I don't want to swear yet. We're in the, we're in the first 10 minutes. Okay. Told the teacher to F off to her face, like an 8-year-old kid. She goes to the principal's office, reports it, and the principal says, well, we had a talk with fill in the blank, and, it's, he was having a bad day. Are you out of your mind? If I even said the word damn in front of a teacher, I would have been crucified in the front of the school like this, saying, forgive them, Lord, for they not know what they do. You know what I'm saying? That's what would have happened to me. But this is the world we live in, right? So now when you think about that, now apply that to business, okay? This is a business that's hemorrhaging money. Not managed well, not doing well. The games aren't great. Some are. Forza Horizon's fantastic. But, as we will discuss tonight in detail, all of the different games that didn't do great. Who said they weren't doing great? This guy. And why? I told you guys before. It's so easy. You don't have to even have a business degree. Turn on your Xbox and go to the goddamn achievement list, and it'll show you the percentages of people that are even getting past 40 minutes of a game. What does that tell you? Does that tell you that's a fantastic game? It might be for you, and it might be for him, and it might be for her, but it certainly ain't for everybody, is it? And now the truth comes out. I've been screaming this stuff for months and months, actually about 2 years now. People block me. People talk shit about me. Do whatever they want. Go ahead. Go ahead. Who the fuck is right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. I said, just go turn on the achievements. You can see that there's no engagement for the last 2 years. Actually, this whole generation. Right? So how do you fix that? Tough love. You have to go in there strong. And you're going to have to go in there and you have to gut this thing and say, hey, guys, we need to, first of all, shave it down. Now, I'm not condoning people losing their jobs. Let's get that out of the way first, okay? I'm not condoning people losing their jobs. I don't want to see that. Okay? I've been in that position before. It sucks. Especially when you're trying to pay for your family, your mortgage, put food on the table, so you know what I mean? Provide for your family and all that stuff. I don't want to see that. However, if you remove that, we're talking about business decisions. They're going to have to shave this thing down. Too many people working. I know that they're still saying that, as a lot of still people are still saying the same thing. Well, the pandemic and the overhiring. Yes, that is part of it. But 5 years later, I think a lot of that extra weight has already been shaved off. Now it's about tightening up the belt for other reasons because the budgets aren't quite there. They're not making their margins. They're not making the 3% margin. Do we have to get into that? Like, it's right there, folks. You know what I'm saying? And that's hey, Farky, what's up? Say hi to Farky in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I met him in the flesh in Funky Fresh, and he's a fantastic human being. Absolutely love him. So what does she have to do? Step one, shave it down. Tighten up the teams. Make them more efficient and less costly because, unfortunately, developer wages are very, very high. A little too high, in my opinion. I think I think some of them are making way too much money. And then you've got the unions involved. They're barely working 40 hours a week, this and that. Now, I'm not condoning even more than that, but I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to work over 38 hours anymore. With their 4 breaks a week on top of that. Of course it's going to take 7 years, 8 years to make a game. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, with those salaries, with these bloated salaries, like, how is this sustainable? And we've been saying this forever. Sean Layton talked about that 6 years ago. How he was saying that the AAA space is not sustainable. He wasn't referring to the cost of the game or the equipment or whatever. He was talking about the labor, folks. He was talking about the labor. That's what it is, because you can't take 7 or 8 years to make a game and not sell 5 to 10 million copies or more. You have to sell 5 million just to keep your head above water. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, as we will discuss tonight in detail, Xbox has not done that. They have not done that. And there's multiple reasons as to why. So the reason why I named this podcast tonight Not the Xbox You Know is because I can absolutely tell you with 100% certainty that the Xbox that you're going to see in the future is not the one you're expecting. Now, some of you expect it, but most are looking for something else. Now the thing is, Colt did a solo cast a couple days ago, right? And I was on the Wednesday night, and he was doing a little thing. I jumped in for the last 2 hours or whatever, and I was out all day. As you remember, how red. By the way, you see how my head is not red anymore? I told you guys. Listen, I'm Italian. I go red straight to brown when I get in the sun. But Wednesday night, I look like Sebastian from The Little Mermaid. I swear to God, I was going to start singing Under the Sea any moment. You better kiss the girl. You know what I mean? I was red as a tomato. Anyways, I went on the show for about a couple hours there. We started talking, all right? And I was saying, guys, I think, and this is before this news came out, I'm like, I think that you're going to see some pretty radical changes here. She said it herself, for God's sake, right? And now when you look at that situation, I saw the chat. Not everybody. There's a bunch of people in the chat that I never saw their names before, ever. Not even on XNC or anything. I'm like, who the hell are these guys? And there were a lot of people watching that show. And they're like, yeah, but we don't want you to change this. We want changes, but we don't want to change that. Don't you dare touch Game Pass. You can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, guys, listen, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. When they say we're making radical changes, or she said from her own boosh, okay? From her own boosh. All right? What did she say? We can't keep doing the same things. And then I'm reading the chat saying, yeah, we can't do the same things. But don't touch this, don't touch that, don't touch this, don't touch that. I'm like, guys, that's not how it works, unfortunately. And I was like, if I had hair, I would have been ripping it out of my skull. And I'm like, guys, that's not how it works. That is literally the definition of having your cake and eating it too. You cannot do that. If you wanted to, first of all, here's the first thing. You want to change in leadership, you got it. Okay, you got it. You got your change in leadership. People were crying for Phil's head and Sarah Bond's head, even before whatever podcasts and people in social media. Oh, they gotta go. They gotta go. We need change. We need change. You got your change. Okay, you got your leadership change. All right, step one. Now that she's in there, what was everybody saying next? Well, we need the business to change. We need Xbox to change. We need to get back in there and get back in the fight and this and that or whatever. You know, to quote Master Chief, get back in the fight or whatever the hell he says. Right? And so you're gonna get back in the fight. Okay, cool. But don't you realize that, like, in order to make an omelet, you got to crack a few eggs? You can't have status quo that wasn't working and expect to change. Do you realize the insanity of that sentence that I just said to you? Think about that for 1 second. Do a little self-reflection right now, folks. And think about this. How the hell can you change if you want everything to stay the fucking same?
Yeah!
It makes no sense. And this is what I've been trying to say. Now, there was a lot of stuff that came out. A lot of stuff I got to talk about. A lot of stuff I can't keep quiet about. Now, the first thing I want to talk about, this is fresh in our minds, folks, because this happened today. Now, I'm going to give my opinion on this because I haven't heard anything. However, I would like to hear from you guys in the chat what you think about it. I think there's a half-truth here, okay, folks? I think there's a half-truth. And I want you guys to let me know in the chat. What's up, Dragon? Let's go! 108 Dragon's in the house. What's going on, 108 Dragon? Listen, man, he is a lovely, charming young man. Okay, I'll tell you that much. But I can tell you something else. The man is a monster. I reached up to like halfway up his chest. When I was talking to him, I needed a stepladder. The guy is a certified giant. But I can tell you this. If I'm walking around downtown LA, the only man I want next to me that's gonna watch my back is gonna be him. Okay? He's like the Big Show from wrestling. Yeah, it's a Big Show. The Lemon just comes right in, starts just crushing people with his fists. His fist is like the size of a catcher's mitt. Excellent dude, man. Excellent dude. And his back and forth with P-Lump was probably the funniest shit I ever seen. Yeah, shout out to P-Lump as well, man. He's a good guy. I'm going to be doing a show with him probably next week sometime. Anyways, let's get into this. So the news today, folks. Let's talk about this. And I'll give you my opinion on this, and I want your opinion in the chat, okay, folks? But before we do any of that, I just got to catch up on one thing here. We have got our good friend, Top Gamer Pro, has renewed his membership, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. A member for 9 months as a top-tier maggot. That's the man. And he says, Maggot, it's been an honor to be part of your community. They have been helpful to me, and so of you. Thanks for all of your help, brother. Dude, you're a maggot for life, brother. And you ain't going anywhere. You live in hell with the rest of us.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Let's go. You're a good one. You're a good one. I'll even give you one of these. All right. There it is. Thank you so much, Top Gamer Pro. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, so let's get into this. We got 160-something people in here, folks. Let's get some likes up there and help me out, all right? Let's be nice. As Microsoft, ready? I'm quoting, okay? As Microsoft gets ready to overhaul its struggling Xbox gaming unit, it hasn't ruled out spinning out or restructuring the unit as a wholly owned subsidiary, which could make it easier to sell or creating a joint venture with other partners. According to 3 people, that's a weird, okay, apparently they're called The Information. Is it like The Situation from like Jersey Shore or whatever the fuck? We got The Situation and we got The Information. Those are 2 separate people, guys. So anyways, here we go. According to 3 people with direct knowledge of the discussions. Now, the funny thing is, before I continue, my people have not told me a damn thing. So I don't know where this is coming from, and my people are working, well, they were right there. Let's just say they were at all the events this year and whatever else, all right? And anyhow, let's continue. Microsoft doesn't have any imminent restructuring plans.
Welcome to hell.
But those options are on the table, the people said. Fair enough. Okay, so now options are on the table. Yes, I get all that. Now, that's something I've discussed many times before, folks, is that an option on the table does not mean anything is coming to fruition, okay? When you have a meeting, especially in a corporate setting, what happens is you got the big whiteboard in the back, right? And you got the little dry erase markers and shit, and everybody sits down and they say, okay, here we go. And they'll write like, I don't know, Xbox future, right? And then they put arrows down and they go around the room and everybody shouts out an idea, right? It's called brainstorming. We get how that goes, right? And some people be like, let's do this. Let's do exclusives, or let's not do exclusives, or let's be just a publisher. Let's not make hardware. Let's just do third-party OEMs. Let's do this. And then one guy in the corner goes, let's just sell it, or whatever, right? And then it goes, okay, sell. And then they put all those options on the board. And then one person says, let's spin it off, and then let's work with another company, very similar how Microsoft worked with LinkedIn and all that stuff, right? You could do all those things. Now, when you put all those things on the blackboard, does that mean that every single one of those things is going to happen? Absolutely not. And that's why I say there's half-truths here. And I'll get to that in just a moment. Let's continue. And I'm not putting that shit on the screen, okay? Because every time people put like a text on the screen, does anybody actually sit there and go like this? And then like actually read that? Nobody reads it. It's stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but it's kind of stupid. So I just read it out loud, okay? Let us continue. In particular, Xbox will move faster on developing new games from beloved franchises it owns, okay, fine, including Halo, Fallout, Elder Scrolls, the people said. Fallout and Elder Scrolls are 2 particular areas of focus for Sharma. I got some news about that. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella and Chief Financial Officer Amy Hood have approved of Sharma's plan to spend more on top-tier games in the coming fiscal year, beginning in July. That's great news for Xbox. Although the budget is not yet locked in and could change, the people said. Okay, there's no surprises there. Okay, there's no surprises there. The surprises are coming up shortly from me. Nadella and Hood haven't ruled out restructuring. This is important. Restructuring Xbox's relationship to Microsoft at some point in the future, if doing so would make Xbox a more successful business, the people said. I want to know who the people are. Options on the table could include making Xbox a wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft, a joint venture, or spinning out Xbox entirely, the people said. Once again, folks, this is what I'm trying to say. If you listen to the words here, I'll repeat some of them for you, okay? Options on the table could. Okay? Options and could does not mean it's happening. It just means it's one of 30 options that are presented in front of everybody. And they're saying, okay, well, we'll entertain the options. Then what they do, especially in a corporate setting, is they take each option and dissect the outcomes of each option. That is how it works. Okay? They could get to that option. Let's say that's option number 11. They spin it out. Okay? They could be like, yeah, that's not going to work for us. And they just cross it off. And then it's a nothing burger. All right? That's why I'm not buying it right now. And like I said, I haven't heard anything from my people at all. And they 100% would have told me if something like this was a lot closer to fruition than just an option that was presented. Okay? Let us continue. Microsoft operates LinkedIn and GitHub. They should operate Pornhub. Make more money, and GitHub as wholly owned subsidiaries, which could serve as one potential blueprint for Xbox, one of the people said. Okay, so that was the news of the day, folks. We see people, some other people are streaming right now. I see videos up there. Destin Legary just did a video a little while ago about it. I have not watched it yet. I'm kind of pissed off I didn't get to watch it because I saw the notification about 5 minutes before I went live, because I would have loved to hear his take on it and what he had to say. That would have been interesting. I saw Dreamcast guy did his thing. I did not agree with what he said. But hey, like I said, that's the way it goes, right? Everybody has their opinion. I respect it, but I just don't agree with it. I don't agree with what he said. I did not hear what Destin had to say. And then after the show was done, I'm going out tonight. I have some things to do, hence why we're so early. And got to watch that. I'm going to be out watching the USA Paraguay game. Not in person, but I'm going to be with people. So anyhow, the thing is, I don't believe all of that. I believe right now, it's just an option on the table. So that's just my thing. Now, like I said, have I heard anything? Not yet. Not yet. When I hear something, I'll probably say something about it Monday if something comes across my plate over the weekend. And, some of the people are safely out of the office and then they could talk to me about this kind of stuff. That's usually how it works. I usually hear about this stuff at night or on the weekends from the people that work there. Because, they're not going to be sitting right next to someone very important and start texting me, telling me random stuff, right? They usually wait till the nighttime of the weekend. I hear more information. But we'll see how that kind of manifests over the next couple of days before we get to XNC on Monday. But we'll find out then. However, I want to know your opinions in the chat. I see CDB says take with a grain of salt. Yeah, I agree with that. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is even an option? Put it in the chat. Let me know right now. Let me know if you guys think it's if it's even an idea. Jay Silver, how you doing, buddy? He says subsidiary is most likely, and people clearly don't know what that is. There is a lot of that too, yes. Fussy tomato? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what he said. Oh man, you guys kill me, man. You guys are too funny. Yeah. Jared in the chat saying no. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not buying all that just yet. Okay. We have to see how this goes down. But like I said before, I have been in several of those corporate meetings, and like I said, they put everything on the table, whether it's plausible or not, and it's reviewable. And again, if you pick out the keywords about what these guys saying, possibly an option, could be an option, this and that, there's no solid, there's no solid evidence there. Now, would they do that? I don't think so. I don't think that that's the direction they want to go in. And the reason why I think that it's a direction they don't want to go in is because they just brought in this new leadership. Let them shoot their shot first. And that's what I was saying last night, even on Crossfire. I said, let her shoot her shot. Wayne Gretzky said it. You miss 100%. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? I said, let her shoot her shot, good or bad, or as Gandalf would say, for good or ill.
For good!
Deceiver, we're gonna get into the hardware talk in a minute. And we got Bethy Spires coming in, joining the channel as a top-tier mega. Thank you so much for joining the channel. And, of course, welcome to hell. And just for you, my friend, you get a little bit of this and that.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
There it is. Welcome to hell, Bethy. Thank you so much, man. I hope I was saying your name right. And we got Street 4025 comes flying in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Street. I appreciate you, brother. Street says this: Microsoft puts Xbox up for sale, Elon buys and adds Xbox to his portfolio of X products. Yeah, that's right, exactly, yeah. I mean, isn't he naming his kids X now? There you go. Street's got the business plan already ready to rock, ladies and gentlemen. And we've got the man, the myth, the legend himself. We've got Kung Fu Hot Dog! Let's go! And Kung Fu Hot Dog comes in and drops 10 British pounds. That's proper money, ladies and gentlemen. And he says, hey, Magalicious. Wished we could have had a super team of id Software and the Coalition to make a brand new IP for Xbox. I guess every time Asha... Oh, did you say the name? Oh, you said the name! I guess every time Asha does something great, she'll follow it up with a nuke. Well, to be fair, my understanding is that id Software did help a little bit, help the Coalition a little bit with Gears E-Day. Or was it vice versa? I can't remember. Either way, they have collaborated together in the past. Thank you, Kung Fu Hot Dog, for the 10 British pounds. That is proper money, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. I know Funky Playbox. I know it's called football. I know. Everybody gets all... Every time there's a World Cup or there's a Euro Cup, Europeans and North Americans always fight about the same shit. Is it called soccer? Is it called football? Because over here, obviously, we have a different version of football, right? So, you know how it is. And then the Australians also have Australian rules football, right? So there's a whole thing. Anyways, this was step one, folks. Okay? So that's my thoughts and feelings about that entire situation that just came out today. People are podcasting right now, talking about it. I will listen to all that probably tomorrow at some point while I'm puttering around the house doing stuff or whatever. And I want to see what everybody else's opinions are and everything else, right? You know. But I think that they're going to let her shoot her shot before there's even any conversation, and that could be years, any conversation about, Xbox's future, possibly. And I'm saying this with a huge quotation, but hey, I could be completely wrong. But I'm saying, possibly being spun out as a separate business or selling to someone else or making it more attractive to purchase for someone else. I don't really know. But again, I could be totally wrong. In 6 months, they'll be like, yeah, bye, whatever. Okay? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Maybe. I don't know. But I personally don't think so. My gut doesn't tell me that. Now, here's the victory lap that this is. Now, I'm not proud of this victory lap, by the way. I'm not proud of it, okay? I'm not proud of this victory lap, but it's a victory lap I've been saying forever. What's up, Cody? How you doing, man? Gabrielle, how you doing? Gabrielle is in the chat. He says if the series consoles ran Steam OS, wouldn't that help Xbox grow? It would, but it would also kind of hinder traffic to their storefront, which is where, that's where you make all your money, right? So that'd be a little bit of a thing. And that's why I'm telling you right now, I don't think Steam is going to be on that Helix. But we're going to talk about Helix a little bit later because I don't think Helix is what you think it's going to be. But we'll get into that shortly. Jesus Christ. So Tom Warren is saying that gears cost up to $300 to $400 million. My goodness, that's a lot. What's up, Marshman? How you doing, bud? Meet the cheaters in the house, Ebs. Okay, so here's the victory lap I'm not proud of. And I've been saying it. Hey, round the twist from Nova Scotia. There we go. We got another Canadian in the house. Congratulations to Canada getting that tie today against Bosnia. That was fantastic. That goal in the 80th minute was amazing. Okay, let's get back into this. I've been saying it for a couple of years, and I have taken so many arrows. I have taken so many arrows for this shit, but I was right. God, it must piss those people off that hate me. But you know what? I'll never figure. It's not like I'll ever get an apology. Not a chance in hell. They just disappear back in their fucking holes and then they come back later. You know what I'm saying?
In the dungeon!
Exactly.
Turn around in the dungeon!
So let's get back into it. So there was a new report by Jez Corden, who I got to meet in LA and hung out with. We had a couple of pints together. Well, more than a couple of pints. We had some drinks together, had a good time, had a long chitty chat in the bar and everything else. Actually, over 2 nights we did that. Lovely young man. Now I want you to hear this, folks. Windows Central's Jez Corden has indicated that there are quite a few reasons behind the company's current state. Among many other reasons, Corden noted that a few successful Xbox releases, yes, have been hampered by having to absorb losses of games that didn't quite sell as well. Well, how a fucking about that? Who's been saying that for the last couple of years, saying, listen, man, whatever your personal feelings are, obviously, say, hey, man, if you love Starfield or you love Avowed and whatever else, okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. But I'm just trying to tell you from the general, and I'm not even talking about the reviews from, like, the media. I played those games. They're mediocre at best. And I said they're not going to do well. They're not doing well. And they're not doing well because people aren't engaging. And I said, and then here's the other thing. The very toxic people on the Xbox side, there's toxic people everywhere. I'm just specifically talking about those. Blaming the PlayStation fans for not buying it. And I'm like, you didn't even play the games yourself. So cut that shit out. Stop blaming the PlayStation guys for not buying your mediocre games because you didn't play him. And that's why I hate that shit. I hate hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is the one thing that drives me fucking insane. How you doing, Q-Max? How are you, buddy? Deceiver, did I even say hi to you yet? Hypocrisy drives me insane, especially when it comes to fanboy narratives. I don't give a shit what you like. Nintendo or PlayStation or Steam or Xbox, whatever. Okay? You blaming PlayStation. Look at the games that are selling. You're not even buying them. Would you? Motherfucker, you didn't even get to level 2. And I said it 1,000 times. I said, go to the goddamn achievement list. Turn on your Xbox right now. All of you. Turn on your Xboxes right now. Turn it on and go look at the achievement percentages. 8% finished Outer World or Avowed or Outer Worlds 2 on easy difficulty, which, by the way, is a stackable achievement, just so you know. %13% got to, like, World 2, which takes an hour and 45 minutes, by the way. So I've been saying it forever. Hi-Fi Rush. People were throwing ticker tape parades in the street. I played the game. Okay? Which is more than what I could say for people who call me a fucking pony.
Ponies and 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 ponies.
You know what I'm saying? Calling me that. And I'm playing more than you. Not you guys. Not you guys. You guys are awesome. Yeah, Q-Max, I'm really dark because I tanned I tanned a lot this week. I mean, I don't go like to a tanning booth. I mean, I was outside doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Cody likes it. He's on the second play of Avowed. Yeah, like my friend, Mr. Boomstick XL. He's got like 300 hours in Avowed. He loves it. Right? Beast mode. You know what I mean? Anyways, the thing is, and I'm like, how dare you tell, like, give shit to like the PlayStation community for not buying those games. You didn't even play them yourself. Like I said, look at those numbers. You know what I mean? The Portal player. I played and beat Hivebusters. Less than 5% even beat it. Yeah. And that's how long? Couple hours? Hey, Grandpa Barbecue, how you doing, buddy? Grey Waz in the house as well. Crispy Bomb is here. Yeah, okay, so Crispy, you play. He says, I play. What the fuck? I want to play back. Yeah, you play. But the majority of people did not. And so that's what was happening. So now, here's a list of those games, folks. While Forza Horizon, Age of Empires, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Sea of Thieves, Grounded, and The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered were major wins, which is fantastic to see, by the way. Titles like I said, just go to the achievements. You don't need to have, like, the business, you don't have to have the business reports. Just go to the achievement percentages. Listen to this. Games like Avowed, Kiln, Keeper, South of Midnight, Hellblade 2, Forza Motorsport, Outer Worlds 2 weren't able to meet Microsoft's sales expectations. Just go to the achievement list. Again. Because if people aren't engaging on Game Pass and they're not buying the game, well, then the achievements are going to be low. Isn't it simple math? That's what I'm trying to talk about. They continue. Other games noted to have missed targets include Ninja Gaiden 4, which was a big disappointment for me. Microsoft Legends, my God. Minecraft Legends, Minecraft Earth. I didn't even know Minecraft Earth was a thing. Bleeding Edge, Battletoads, Towerborn, and Aura History Untold. I never even heard of that one. Among others, did not meet expectations as well. And then there were the canceled games that they talk about. They kind of like rope this all into the one topic, right? The cancellation of others like Perfect Dark, Everwild, Project Blackbird from ZeniMax. Those were other ones that were canceled on top of that. And then, of course, games that are taking long development cycles like Fable, State of Decay is costing them a ton of money. This is what Asha needs to solve, right? And so that's why she's going to be, I'll tell you this right now. Phil Spencer was loved. Phil Spencer was hated. Then he was forgotten. Asha is loved. Then she's going to make all these moves. I'm telling you right now. Not everybody. There's going to be people out there who are going to hate her. For the same people that were doing like those images of her like as Mother Mary and stuff. You know what I mean? She's standing like this. See those ones on Twitter where she's dressed up as like Mother Mary and all that. Those same people are going to be like all over her. She needs to be fired. Yeah. You know what I mean? What? And that's exactly what's going to happen. You guys are not stupid. The reason why I know you're smart is because you're here. So you're smart enough. You guys know, all of you in the chat, you know that those same people are going to be the same ones to chastise her. The same ones that evangelized her are going to be the same ones that chastise her. But she's got to make moves, guys. She has to make moves, and they're not going to be ones that everybody's going to be happy about. She's warned you like 6 times, and since the showcase, in different ways. All you have to do is listen to her wording and everything else. We're not going to go through everything that she said, all right? Otherwise, we'd be here a bloody night. But I'm just saying, she's put out the warnings that say, hey, man, we're going to be making some tough decisions here. Not everybody's going to be happy. People are going to lose their jobs. That is exactly what's going to happen. Where is it? I just saw something in the... Hey, Sub-Zero, how you doing? Hey, Yobi's in the house. Colin Prime, how are you? Where the hell is it? I just saw it just zip past. Damn it, the chat moved really fast. I think it was Street. Oh, no. 1500. Where the hell did you say? Oh, yeah. There you go. 1500 F2. He said in the chat, he goes, the longer the development time, the more Xbox bleeds money. Well, I mean, that applies to everybody. I mean, that applies to PlayStation. That applies to Nintendo. The longer the development time, you know, it's gonna cost more and more money, which means it puts more pressure on the studio that they're going to have to sell X amount of more copies in order to make that money back. Like, for example, if you look at like Fable, right? Every year that passes, you know, their internals are going to look at it and go, shit, you got to add another 500,000 to that, you know, to those sales, because it's costing us even more. Another year of development is going to cost us more. It's not like it's free, guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. It's tough. So anyhow, let's get back to it. So, those games, as I said, just go look at those achievements. You could say that they're not working. Why? Well, it's funny you asked that, because my 2 in the chat drops a €5.99. What's up? He asked exactly that question. My 2, thank you so much for the donation, my friend. I appreciate you, brother. And he says, respect to you, Mag, and everyone in your chat from Ireland. Oh, thank you so much, my friend. We will be rooting for Ireland in the World Cup. My wife is Irish, of course. Why did those Xbox games fail? Well, my 2, allow me to answer that question. Because they didn't appeal to the wide audience. That's why. It didn't even appeal to most of the hardcore. Shaky Jake, how you doing, buddy? Don't hate the player, hate the game. I guess that could be like interpreted more than one way, right? My 2, here's the thing. Why did those Xbox games fail? Because they didn't appeal to the wider audience. She talked about that, by the way. As clear as day. She said, we need to focus on the games that have the mass appeal. I get all that. It's going to sound like very risk averse. And that's something that, like, you know, Hollywood tried to do but continues to fail. You know, reaching out to the mass market. Why? Because Hollywood's run by corporates now. They're run by they're run by like focus groups. Not by a director with a vision or an artist with an idea. Right? It's run by a committee now. Gaming has been the same thing. Now, you don't want to hear things like we want to focus on, mass appeal games. But at the same time, you also want to make games that everybody wants to play. So I guess that kind of does apply to, like, mass appeal. It also has to boil down to marketing, which we're going to talk about in just a second. So marketing is going to be a situation. Apparently, they're going to do cuts to marketing. That might be a bit of a problem because their marketing has been shit up to this point, and now you're going to cut even more? I don't know, guys. I don't know if that's a great idea because, I mean, like, you got to get the names out there because, you know, responsibility number 1 is putting out fantastic software that people want to play, that is appealing to a large group of people, right? That's responsibility number 2. All right, 1, excuse me. Responsibility number 2 is making sure that everybody on the planet knows about that fantastic software. So if you got a game like Forza 6, great game, right? Doing well, right? Selling millions of copies outside of Game Pass, right? It's a financial success, right? Right. But what did they do? They advertised it all over the world, advertised it in Japan. They had murals on buildings. They did this and that or whatever. And it got the awareness out there, folks. And it sold. If Gears of War E-Day is going to be as good as it looks, and I was there in the flesh and I watched that game, it looked fantastic, right? And if it's going to be as good as it looks, and it looks fantastic, I'm ready for it, day one. You got to tell the world. You got to tell the world. You can't tell the people on Xbox. They're already there. You know what I'm saying? You can't advertise on Game Pass coming soon. I mean, yeah, you have to do that. Coming soon, sure. But you have to advertise to the people who aren't there. And if they cut that marketing budget, if I don't see Marcus Phoenix on the side of the CN Tower in Toronto, people don't know what the hell's going on. There were games in the last couple of years, folks, that nobody even knew they released. When the PlayStation 5 versions of games came out, like South of Midnight and Avowed, I didn't even know they were out. And this is what I do for a living, and I didn't even know that the game was out. Do you not realize the insanity of that? I had people messaging me and be like, hey, Mag, you going to buy South? I know you loved South of Midnight, which I did. I love that. I think it was my favorite Xbox game of that year, of 2025. Was it 25 it came out, or 24? No, it was 25. My favorite game of 24 was Stellar Blade, hands down. And no, not because of her ass. It's because it was a fantastic game. But anyways, the way I looked at it, I didn't even know those games came out. I barely even knew when they came out on Xbox. And I'm like, guys, you got to get the awareness out there. So if you've got the software that's compelling, then you have to tell the world. And if you cut that marketing budget, that's going to be a situation. She talked about that. That's going to be one of the things that is going to get cut. We'll talk about that in just a second, because I have her whole breakdown from the the Xbox Wire had posted the entire memo that her and Booty put out to the employees and to the staff. So yeah, we'll be doing that. We'll be doing that in just a second. I just want to talk about this game situation. But we have to admit, and the thing is, here's the things, folks. When you go to rehab, I've never been to rehab, but I know people who have been to rehab, and I'll tell you this. The first thing that they say is that as a community, and I'm talking about the Xbox community, and I'm part of that community, okay, is that you have to admit there's a problem. She did that. And the internet, apart from, people who are very critical of Microsoft, Xbox, whatever, apart from them, everybody else went really quiet. You know why they went really quiet? Because she said the quiet part out loud. You know what she asked Matthew Ball when she hired him? Did you guys read that? Did you guys read that quote? You know what she said? She said, can we fix this? When the CEO of Xbox says, can we fix this? What does that tell you as a critical thinker? Answer me. It means it was broken. You have to admit that it was broken at some point. And I'm not talking about her tenure as the CEO. I'm talking about the mess she inherited. Because to me, this was an abysmal generation. I'll tell you this right now. I loved the Xbox One generation. I know some people are going to think I'm nuts for saying that, because everybody's like, well, that's when it started falling apart. Okay, fine. But you know what? That generation, I loved my Xbox One. I played predominantly 90% of my time was spent on an Xbox One last generation. I loved it. I even loved the games that came out. I loved Halo 5, by the way. I know people are going to get pissed off at me. I loved it. And I like the games that they came out with. The launch of the system, fantastic games came out with that. Timed exclusives, third-party exclusives, first-party exclusives, whatever. It was great. This generation has been nothing but a resounding disappointment for me. Over and over and over. And every time they do something good, which they have done good in this generation, there's no question they have done great things this generation. I can name about half a dozen games that I think were fantastic from them. Okay? Maybe 5. Okay? But I'm talking about from every other move has just been rake after rake after rake. It's almost like they don't know what the hell they're doing. Now, people say, are we blaming Microsoft? Because Microsoft keeps getting in the way? I know some people feel that way, yes. Is it Xbox trying to appease what Microsoft is trying to stick their nose too far into, which they started doing in the Xbox One generation? Absolutely. Their policies in terms of their hiring practices, 18-month contracts and everything, so they don't have to pay people their health benefits and other benefits, or their dental or whatever the hell else. and then they come in, they're trying to learn a whole new engine and this and that or whatever, and then before you even get your feet wet, they're throwing you out the door and bringing in the next guy. That's gonna cause problems too. And a lot of that had to do with Microsoft policies. So when you've got all that causing problems, then you have to look at a situation like that and say, what the hell are you guys doing? And so that's why she sat down with Matthew Ball and said, can we fix this? By saying those words, she has openly admitted that this thing is a fucking disaster internally and a little bit externally, right? Because people are just not gravitating towards it. Numbers are down. Hardware is down. Engagement. Their engagement numbers are a little bit sus to me because they like to include all the stuff. Did you know, by the way, fun fact for everybody, did you know that people playing Forza Horizon on the PS5? This is a fun fact that nobody knows. Internally they know, and internally they told this guy right here. Do you know that the players on the PS5, they were using those numbers as to bolster their engagement numbers on Forza to their shareholders? It's a fact. So the way that they calculate their engagement numbers, I'm not totally jazzed about. But anyways, that's why they have to look internally and look at the quality of the software. Now, this year, look what they got. They got Forza Horizon 6, great game. Gears of War E-Day looks fantastic. I have no doubt it's going to be great. I can tell you right now, Call of Duty is going to be a monster game. It's going to be a huge game, and it's going to be really good. I know a lot of guys on the team that were talking about it, super jazzed about it, and saying all wonderful things. Like, obviously they're working on it. Of course, what are they going to say? Yeah, I'm working on the game. It's going to be crap. Obviously, they're not going to say that. But I'm saying they're really, really excited for this one. And they're saying you guys are not ready for how great this game is going to be. It's going to be really fantastic. You guys are really going to love it, right? And that's what I've been hearing internally for over the last 6 weeks or so. So that's great, right? So you got 3 great games out there. Now you got third-party games that are going to help bolster. You've got what's it called? You got GTA 6. That's going to help as well. Then in the new year, you've got Fable, right? And then you got a couple other releases going out in Fable. You've got a bunch of games coming out next year. State of Decay, that new Senua game, right? You're doing well. You have to maintain that for a long period of time. Unfortunately, you can't do that for 1 year. And it's something that I was saying the other day. It's like you have to have that compelling software for several years that in order to change the momentum of the zeitgeist of how people view your product. Now, the other thing that I feel that doesn't help all of that, and this is something I know some people like to parrot this, and you know what? I agree with them, actually. I'm going to agree with them entirely. They need to stop talking. They need to stop talking. They need to stop talking. To the public, put out the quality and continue to pump out the quality. But the problem is the more you talk, the more confusion it's causing the consumer. And when you cause it, I took courses on this stuff, guys. Doing the whole corporate thing outside of the restaurant thing. It was still hospitality, but it was still in there. Okay? It's about consumer psychology. If you do not present the consumer with a very clear and concise product, price, and what it does, you know what that does? It confuses people. And if people have to think or break down what you're saying, they check out. No pun intended. They check out. Then they're no longer interested in your product. They move on. They're just like, yeah, okay. And they just wipe it from their mind and then just go, how much is that? $6? Okay, what does it do? Okay, yeah, give me one of those. Give me 2 of those. The minute you confuse the customer with any form of mixed messaging, bad marketing, no marketing, whatever, or you can't give clear and concise answers or to the questions of what your product does and how much it costs and what are you doing and what's your future and what's this and that, people will not invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And that is what's happening. And the more, and the way I feel about it, and listen, I may be on my own here, but I don't think I am. The more they speak, the worse it's getting. I think it'd just be wise. And I'm not talking about the parasocial stuff, talking to the fans and everything else. That's great. Interaction with the fans are fantastic. I was there Sunday, for God's sake. I was shaking hands, kissing babies. Talked to Asha. I talked to Matt Booty. I talked to all of them. All right? I talked to Jason Ronald for like 10 minutes. Great guy. You know what I mean? Great guy.
Facundo!
You know what I mean? Gandalf himself. I talked to him. for like 10 minutes. Fantastic guy. Wonderful people. Celebrating the fans of a product is not the same as talking about your business plans every 6 hours is another release coming out. That stuff has to stop. I'm not saying, the other stuff. The other stuff, celebrating the fans and the product and the history and the culture around Xbox is a fantastic thing. It's a great thing. Okay, fan fests are excellent. I'm trying to get to I know QMax asked me in the chat earlier, am I going to go to the one in Toronto? Hell yeah, I'm going to go to the one in Toronto. And I'm inviting, let me find out the details first, but I'm trying to invite as many people from around the area. We can have a meet and greet with each other. I'm trying to get Maka from Maka's Guides down there. You know what I mean? So that we can all get together, go to the fan fest, maybe hang out after, have some drinks, talk about, our favorite things, and talk about the hobby that we love. Talk about Xbox. Talk about your memories with them. Talk about, celebrate all the things you love about the ecosystem, about what you love about Xbox. That's awesome. What I'm talking about is not that. And the problem with a lot of people is that they misinterpret that. They misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm talking from a business level. They need to stop talking to the people about what their plans are and whatever. Just do it. Just do it and keep your mouth shut and make the message clear and concise and say, this is what we're doing. But the problem is now again, you got this other thing. Well, this is exclusive. This is not. This is not. Gears is, but Fable's not. Like, how are customers gonna people are like, what the fuck is going on here? What am I buying? People just want to know what do I buy and how much does it cost? Because I want to play that thing. You know what I mean? Then we got to talk about something else. We got to talk about the target audience. She talked about that specifically in the interview that she had. That interview she had on TV or whatever, on YouTube? She talked about the target audience, talking about a new audience. She's not talking about us. And that's something I also wanted to say. And it kind of sucks. But we'll get into that in just 1 second. We got some housekeeping to do, ladies and gentlemen. We got Legendary Yobi coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Legendary Yobi. I appreciate you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually cracked almost 220 plus people in the chat tonight. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Those are new records for the Mag Show, ladies and gentlemen. That's fantastic. It also helps that Randolph Thor is still sleeping, and Jez has probably still got his jet lag, so they didn't do Xbox 2 tonight. But here we are. Thank you guys all so much for the support, man. I really appreciate all of it. And Legendary Yobi says for $5, he says, showing you love from Miami. I'll see you out there next year, sir. Hell yeah, brother. Big hugs, my man. Thank you so much, Legendary Yobi. I appreciate you, my friend, very much. And we got Davo dropping $5 super chat as well. Thank you so much, Davo. And he says, Xbox, we're cutting the marketing budget. Me, you had a marketing budget? Yeah. Oh, God damn it, dude. You were so right, Dabo. That's another thing. I was actually giggling about that in the shower when I was listening to the report. So I listen to YouTube while I'm in the shower, brushing my teeth and shaving my big stupid head and whatever else, right? And so I'm listening to that, and I swear to God, Dabo, I said the same thing. I'm in the shower. I'm scrubbing my breasts, my luscious breasts with my loofah and my coconut scented soap. And I'm listening, and they're like, yeah, we're cutting the marketing budget. And I was like, what marketing budget? What? I didn't even know there was one. What's up, Soldier for Life? How you doing, brother? Nice to see that you were in the green room before the show started. Thank you so much, Devo. I appreciate you, and thank you for the laugh, man. It's awesome. And we got QMax coming in, dropping a $2 super chat. Let's go. And he says, for $2, he says, Mag, what about this spin-off talk with Xbox? We talked about it earlier in the show. I'll tell you this. I don't believe it right now. I don't believe it. I don't believe that's an actual feasible option. I think that was something that was on the table as one of 30 different options, as I was mentioning earlier. When you sit down in a corporate setting and you've got something to discuss, and like, okay, guys, we're working on, we're working on a new Dragon's Lair. How do you want to deal with this? And then, everybody does a bunch of ideas. They write it on the whiteboard, and out of the 30 ideas that get brainstormed in the room, only one comes to fruition. I think that this spin-off talk with Xbox is just one of those 30. I do not believe Xbox Series X Halo 5 was fire. I fucking loved it. I don't believe that this spin-off thing is happening. I think it's just an option that was on the table, and it's not something that was taken completely seriously. I think it was just laid out as several different possibilities. So I don't fully believe that. But anyway, that's just me, man. That's just me. Like I said, I could be totally wrong, and if I'm wrong, I ain't a bitch. I'll take it. I'll take it right here. Yeah, I'll take it on the chin. Pause. All right, I take it right on the chin. I face you guys straight up and say, yeah, I was 100% wrong, and I don't care. I own it. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But my gut tells me that ain't happening. They ain't spinning off nothing. Xbox is going to stay there. It's going to be a leaner, meaner machine kind of deal, whatever. But we're going to get into that other stuff in just a moment. And Maitu comes in, drops another 12 euro. Let's go. Thank you so much, Maitu, for all the support tonight, brother. Appreciate you, my friend. And he says, for 12 European dollars. Yes, madame. Am I European? Of course I'm European. Ah, yes. European man. I'm here for you. Would you like a cigarette? Thank you so much, Maitu. Appreciate you, brother. And he says, are modern games developed for players like you and me? Well, we'll get into that in just a second. Modern movies certainly are not created for people like me. Yeah. Where is this so-called modern audience? They're not playing the games, and they're not going to the movies. The modern audience doesn't exist because the modern audience is the 5 people that wrote the movie, and they think that the whole world thinks like them. And some of these developers out there that have these wacky ideas or whatever the fuck they're doing, they think that everybody's going to think like them. And they've had a rude awakening over the last couple of years, realizing, oh shit, that's not how the real world works. It's just like when you watch the news. Okay, when you watch the news and they'll spin something out there, right? Dave Chappelle said it. He goes, we live in the worst timeline. He's like, we live in the age of spin, where they can have 5% of a population make you all believe that everybody's thinking like that. Then you actually go out into the real world and realize 95% of the people out there do not fucking believe what that bullshit that they're telling you or whatever else, or some narrative. But they make it seem like everybody is, right? It's the age of spin. Like I said, Dave Chappelle talked about that, and he was bang on. Bang on. Thank you so much, Maitu. But we're going to talk about that in just a moment, that exact topic about making games for you and I, and of course, everybody else in this chat. And Maitu comes in with another 6 euros. The guy is crazy. He unlocked a rare achievement for that one, too. My goodness, Maitu. Thank you so much, my friend. And he says, once again, as he continues this super chat, he says, this modern audience certainly aren't putting their hands in their pockets. Fuck yeah. He goes, just as Disney and Marvel. Yeah, because their products are shit. Why do you think they're doing a $1 billion Hail Mary called Avengers Doomsday and Avengers, what the hell is the other one called? Oh, Secret Wars. It's a $1 billion loss leader in order to try and revive Marvel because they fucked up for 5 straight years. And the only good Marvel movies that came out in the last 5 years were made by Sony and Fox. That would be Deadpool and Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Risk it for the biscuit. Scumbag extraordinaire.
You're fired.
There he is. Oh, Riskit sounds angry. He says, dude, being a chef and being an Xbox CEO are very different. I've been both. Have you? Probably not. What? You don't think I can dish it out? I can dish it out. How you doing, Riskit? I can tell you're very upset. And Grumpy Old Fart comes in and drops a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Grumpy Old Fart. And he says, for $5, he goes, missed half the stream yesterday, missed half the stream today. What the fuck is happening? What year is this? Thoughts on Halloween video game? I think it's going to be a janky mess. I think it's going to be a janky mess. Fox is owned by Disney, bro. I know, Andy Ackerman. But it's not run by the same people. It's just owned by them, not run by them. Fox was run by Fox. Hey, we got fun speculation in the house. Hey, listen, Mav. You got to get your ass out to LA next year, man, because I think it would be a lot of fun. Oh, he says, congratulations on 4K, bro. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Yes, and thank you all for getting me over that hump. Now we're on our way to marching on to 5,000 subscribers in the first year and a bit. That would be fantastic. Yay, Harry Ballsack. How you doing, brother? Okay, so I want to get back to what Maitu was talking about earlier in terms of the modern audience and all that kind of stuff. Not the modern audience. Well, we talked about that. About talking about the target audience. Now, if you want to specifically talk about Xbox, Asha specifically talked about the target audience being a newer generation. Right? Which means not you and me. Okay? I'm certainly not the new generation. Pistol Pete's in the house.
Ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies.
There you go. There you go, Pistol Pete. All right, you got it. The next time you want to play that, you better join the channel. All right. I can't be taking requests. I'm just kidding. They're looking for that new audience. And I've been talking about this forever. And I've actually been talking about this even as far back as when I used to do primetime gaming with Mr. Boomstick and Kay Asante and Everborn Saga, and even like Wandering Dutch was on there. Crispy Bomb was on there, right? I said all the way back then when I used to be on that panel. When I was on that panel, you know what I said? I said, guys, we are no longer the target audience. They're looking at my children. I mean, so are the billionaires. But, you know... But you know what I mean? They're looking at our children. Because our children are going to be the ones who are paying customers for the next 25 years. We may not be. Right? We don't know what the hell's going to happen to us. I mean, realistically, could I still see myself playing video games at like 70, 75? Hell yeah! As long as my hands still work. Maybe by then, though, I could put a chip in my mind. I could just use my eyeballs to, like, you know what I mean? Look around and, like, be able to play games. Who the hell knows? Mav. I mean, like, you know, I got to drop a joke like that. Mav, you should see me after, like, 9 pints, okay? With the guys in L.A., all the jokes I was dropping in the bar. We were having a blast. Anyhow. They're looking at our kids. She talked about that. Did you guys catch that? Because I caught that. And I was like, hee. And so they're going to start focusing on that younger generation. What does that mean? They're going to continue to appease us with the games that we like or whatever else, because we are, I mean, at a point in our lives that we have more expendable income than a child, obviously, right? And we could buy 10 games a year, 15 games a year, 25 games a year, and subscribe to services, PSN and Game Pass and whatever else, right? We can do all that. But the problem is we also don't make up the majority of the market. I've said it a million times, which is really kind of unfortunate, that the hardcore does not carry the industry. The casual market carries the industry. And the thing with that is that they're going to start targeting a lot of that. Now, they've already got that sort of cornered with ABK, especially with King, with like the Candy Crush games, whatever. They're making billions of dollars off that. Call of Duty is, it appeals to every market. Like my son started playing Call of Duty at, I'd say 12. He finally got off the Fortnite kick and he got onto Call of Duty. Now he's playing Call of Duty like regularly. He doesn't even play Fortnite anymore. He's done. Right? So now he's a Call of Duty guy. He's looking forward to this year. Now this year he's 13 or whatever. I know he's not Peggy 18, but does that ever fucking stop anybody? No. You know, there's 8-year-olds playing GTA Online. Like, give me a break. So anyways, the point is that they're looking at that on it. So they will focus on that. So ABK, they got that market cornered. How do you market more towards that age group and then have them sort of become the next, 20 years, 25 years? Like, for example, when I got into the Xbox ecosystem 20 years ago, this year, actually, they got me in there with Dead Rising, and that was a third-party exclusive, but it was there, and that's what got me into 360. And what did it do from there? I was a younger man in those days, right? But they got me as a 20-year paying customer into the ecosystem, and that's what they're looking for. So they're looking for appeasing us to keep us going, but at the same time, their real focus is actually our kids. How can we get them to engage? And that's something that she also discussed. So it was very interesting. Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, that's what it is. So like to tiptoe around what you were saying before about the modern audience, yeah, when it comes to like narratives and stuff like that, certainly not connecting with much of anybody these days. Like I said, just look at like Hollywood and whatever else. People are just not going anymore. They're just done. They're done with it. They're done with it. Some movies do fantastic. A lot of movies are flopping. And then what's the rise in Hollywood now? Which, by the way, I want to tie that into the gaming industry. What's the rise now? The rise now is the indie film or the small horror movies. Obsession. You know, what is that other one? Back Rooms or whatever the hell it's called. Like one of those movies, I think it was Obsession, was made for $750,000. And it made like $113 million. Why? Because people are so sick of this made by committee bullshit, which has bled into the video game industry as well. They're fucking tired of it. And they're tired of the activist bullshit. They're tired of the fucking, the culture war bullshit. People just want to go see a goddamn movie and not be preached to about whatever. You know what I mean? And the same thing started happening in video games. People just walking away. They're just like, fuck off. And so what's rising up now? Just like the 70s in the movie business. Young, talented filmmakers, young, talented developers will continue to get out there. And you know what? It's going to take just one of them to crack that market, just like Fortnite did, just like Call of Duty did, just like World of Warcraft did. Do you think World of Warcraft started with $100 million budgets? No. It didn't. You know what I mean? But it became that. Someone else is going to come in and crack that market, and Microsoft's looking at that. Asha's looking for that, and she talked about that. And you know what? That's something that Sony's been trying to do that for a while now. They have 3 live service games that are doing incredibly well, but they keep going after it because they want more. You know, they've got their Gran Turismo, they've got their MLB The Show, and they got Helldivers 2, 3 monstrously successful live service games that a lot of people love to pretend doesn't exist because they focus on Concord or Marathon. Right? But they have 3 ones that are succeeding and helping to carry the business. Why do you think they keep hunting after it? Because they're hoping for the next one and the next one and the next one. That's exactly what Asha's looking forward to. I'm telling you that right now. That's going to be something that she's going to be eyeballing and trying to figure out a way. How do we crack that market? How do we go to that small, to that younger audience and then build from there? On top of the already established franchises like your Gears, like your Forza Horizons, like your Call of Duties. But that's going to be Matt Booty's job. Matt Booty's going to have to make sure that their quality is up to standard. He's going to have to be standing on top of these people saying, guys, we cannot release mediocrity. It's got to be top quality because we're riding a wave right now of, like I said, they're coming out Forza Horizon. They had a fantastic showcase. And the games that they showed there, I was excited for 95% of them. I'm saying, I'm in day one. I'm in day one. That's how you do it. Now you got to keep that momentum going. The reason why Sony and Nintendo, by the way, I'm going off a little side tangent here, but we're gonna go on this journey together, folks. The reason why Sony and Nintendo can get away with so much shit is because they have decades of proven excellence. And as a result of that, when they stumble, they don't actually fall. They just stumble, but they keep going because they continue to provide excellence. And they've done it for literally decades and generations. When Nintendo fucked up with the Wii U, did it sink the company? No. They come out with a Switch and they literally punched the whole world in the balls and took over the world. But why did they get that benefit of the doubt? Because Nintendo had 40 years of quality. Well, not 40, 35 years at that point. Of quality behind them and under their belts. That's why. Xbox needs to do the same thing. They've had patches of quality throughout the year. Xbox original generation had some quality in there. The Xbox 360, that entire generation was quality. I would say half of Xbox One was quality. Right? They got to get back to that. Asha said it with her own lips. It's going to take years. I swear to God, when I say all these things on all these shows, including my own show, I almost feel like somehow I'm reading directly into their minds, or else they're just listening to what the hell I'm saying. I don't know. I'm just telling you, these are all the things I've been saying. She's saying the exact same fucking thing. It's going to take years. And it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. Not from us, by the way. I'd like to point that out. Not from us, the consumer. Because if you look at all the games that they showed at, for example, at the showcase, whatever plans they have for Game Pass in the future, which I'm telling you right now, are going to be radically different in the future. Not now. Because every game that they showed at that showcase, they said, and you saw it with your own eyes, I saw it with my own eyes, right there. I was sitting with Lord Sov from the Iron Lords. It was me and Sov with my popcorn, and I'm watching the show, and I'm leaning to him going, dude, that looked fucking dope. It was just the two of us because I don't like crowds. So it was just the two of us off to the side. We're watching the show. What did every trailer say? Play it day one in Game Pass. Which means for the foreseeable future, you will continue to get day one in Game Pass. I'm telling you right now, that's going to change. I'm telling you, I have a gentleman's bet with Colt. We did a virtual handshake, which, by the way, I'm 1-0. He lost the first one. So
Welcome to hell.
This is our second one. Okay? But I'm saying right now, Elder Scrolls 6 and the new Fallout, whenever it comes out down the road, neither one of those games will be day one in Game Pass. I'm telling you. And it's not even a Microsoft decision. That's coming from Bethesda. But that's a whole other story for another day. I've told you guys that before. I did a video last week about it, how Bethesda was never happy about being in Game Pass, was never happy about having their sales bonuses fucked with by Microsoft. They were never happy about the fact that it was never rectified or fixed. And then when they announced the games for PS5, you see them bouncing on the couch like 5-year-olds, like going to Chuck E. Cheese. Right? Our game's going to PS5. Our game's going to PS5. And I'm like, why the fuck are they so excited? And then I found out afterwards. From them, by the way. Not from a source. What's your source, Mag? Made it up? No. It's from the actual people that work there. They said the exact same thing. They're like, yeah, we never wanted to be there. We never wanted to be a part of this. They actually had no problem with Microsoft absorbing the company. They never want to be part of Game Pass. I'll tell you right now, when those changes happen, you already saw it with Call of Duty. Call of Duty's step one. Because Activision followed suit. When they started hearing about the rumblings at Bethesda, a lot of people at ABK started speaking up. And I said that 2 years ago when they were finally acquired. I started hearing from employees saying they didn't want to be part of Game Pass. That sentiment, that started to grow. Okay? That started to grow. So it's not coming from Microsoft, and it's not coming from Asha Sharma. Don't blame her. It's coming from the staff. The staff is the staff. I've talked to them. I talked to a lot of them. I talked to a lot of them on the weekend. They didn't want to be a part of it. They don't want to be a part of it. I'll tell you right now, my gentleman's bet with Colt stands. Elder Scrolls 6 and Fallout 5 will not be day one in Game Pass. I'm telling you right now. But anyways, that's whatever. That was just a little side tangent. What I was trying to get at is that be prepared for a lot of big changes coming in terms of their marketing, in their business strategy, their subscription strategy. Does that mean it's going away? No, it's not. No one said that. I know a lot of people like to assume that that's what's happening. That is not what's happening, I assure you. The business is not going away. Game Pass is not going away, but it's going to be radically different. Exclusivity is not particularly going away, but it's not sticking around the same way that you might think. Well, their business strategy is going to be a little bit different. I'll have more to say about that on Monday on XNC when I get some more information. But information's starting to come in. So these are all things that you're going to see. We'll talk about hardware to round out everything that we're going to talk about today. But before we get to all that, we got some more super chats to get through. And then I want to get through Asha's actual statement. We're going to break that down. And then we're going to talk about the hardware because that's another drama that seemed to have come up today. And I'd love to clarify a little bit of that for everybody as well. So there's a lot of good. There's a lot of bad out there. There's a lot of disingenuous takes out there. I'll give you a more level-headed one as to what to expect. But we'll do that in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, the man is a maniac. He's out of control. He's all over the place. And his name is Maitu, and he comes and drops another 249 euros. That's like his fourth super chat tonight, guys. He's putting everybody to shame, ladies and gentlemen. The man is out of control. He even unlocked a rare Xbox achievement. As a matter of fact, there it is. He unlocked 100 achievement points. More than I can say about people who played Avowed. I got to get my jabs in. All right. And he says, thank you so much, Maitu. Appreciate you. And he goes, supercalifrag. Oh, for fuck's sake, dude. How could I even say that? Supercalifragilistic Xbox Aladocious. Let's go. There we go. My two, you are one of the best. Thank you so much, my two. Appreciate that, brother. And tongue twisting me, especially when I'm taking a shot of my vape here. I'll even read it one more time. Supercalifragilistic Xbox Ashadoshis. I should have said that to her when I talked to her. Sorry. Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate you, brother. And we got Hey Blinken. What's up? Dropping a $10 super chat. Let's go. Thank you so much, Hey Blinken. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the $10 super chat. And he says, for $10 US, he says, what is your most anticipated game from the showcases? And did you get to play Halo? I will answer one at a time. Tied for first place of most anticipated games out of the showcases. Ironically, both came from Keeley's showcase. Now, the only reason why I'm not putting in Gears E-Day is because Gears E-Day is so close. It's only a few months away that I'm not going to put it on the list. But obviously, I'm going to be there day one for Gears E-Day. We're going to be streaming it here. We're going to be playing with the maggots. With the Xbox community, with the Steam community. We're going to have a whole thing, man. It's going to be awesome. Just like the Forza thing when we had our whole convoy. That was so much fun. We should totally do that again sometime. Get the convoys together. It's going to be the same thing with Gears, man. We're going to be going out there. And then you guys can all laugh at me because I am a terrible online Gears of War player. I mean, terrible. I mean, some would say probably the most atrocious Gears of War online player you've ever seen.
It is unavoidable.
You know?
It is your destiny.
And, Blinken, to answer question number 2, did I get to play Halo? Yes, I got to play Halo. And I got to play a lot of Halo. And I even got to play Halo with Colt Eastwood. And we got to look on... it was awesome. And let me tell you guys, I'm allowed to talk about that one. All those other games, I was not allowed to talk about. I am under NDA and under embargo until, I think the earliest one is June 23rd. I just got my B-roll for Star Wars Galactic Racer, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm not allowed to give my opinions on it, like nothing. So, and then the other games I'm under embargo until at least July. And they haven't emailed me B-roll yet of the footage that I either played or got to witness myself. But Halo, they didn't give a shit. When I walked in there, I talked to the guy, and I'm like, hey, man, what's the story with Halo, this and that? Like, what's the embargo? The guy goes, oh, just play, who cares? And I'm like, he goes, you can film it if you want. Like, the guy didn't give a shit at all, but the Xbox guy was like, nah, whatever, man, just film it. It's all good. No NDAs, no nothing. But, you know, at the same time, Colt did bring up a good point. Colt brought up the point that we've played the original Halo game how many times? You know what I'm saying? So we played the game we played the game a million times. So what are you going to hide? The story that we've already played like for 25 years? Like, we know what Halo's about. But I'll tell you this. Halo Campaign Evolved is fucking awesome. I played it for about 40 minutes, and I can tell you this. It was a lot of fun. It's gorgeous. It moves well. The pseudo aim down sights is great. The sprint is good. The co-op is good. The graphics are incredible. The water physics are intense. Like, if you actually go like to that area, they show the beach area or whatever. Now we got like a cleaner version of it. And of course, I'm seeing it in front of my face, right? I'm playing it on a 50-inch screen, and I'm playing this game, and I'm looking at the water effects and stuff like that. And dude, let me tell you, man, it is fucking great. I am so excited for everybody else to play it. I'm excited to play it again. I can't wait to play it again. And we'll be playing it in co-op with the community, whatever. I'm going to be playing it also with my wife because she wants to play it. But you know what I mean? We'll have nights where like a bunch of us will play together. Hey, you want to run through some missions and this and that? We're going to have a great time with Halo. And Halo, the Halo campaign Evolved is fantastic. Thank you so much, Hey Blinken, for that $10 super chat. And I hope I answered your questions for you, except for I never told you what the games were that I'm most excited for. I said Gears of War I'm playing day one. The other two games were both from Keeley's event, and they are obviously much further away. My most anticipated shouldn't be a surprise for a Resident Evil cuck like myself or a Capcom cuck like myself. Resident Evil Veronica, and the other one that shocked the living hell out of me, I swear to God, I thought the Iron Lords were going to like literally kill me because they jumped so, they were sitting behind me. and they jumped so high and were screaming and high-fiving each other. I thought I was going to get crushed by the mighty King David, like Godzilla -1 crushing me. Like, just everybody was freaking out. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, let's go! So, hey, Blinken, besides Resident Evil, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, made by Platinum Games. Oh my God. I am literally going to light a candle tonight and put it in my window and await the release of that game. That's how much I can't wait to play that game. And my two again! The guy comes in and drops another 6 euros! What's going on out there? Thank you so much, my two. Appreciate you, brother. And he says, for 6 euros, again, that's his 5th or 6th super chat tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Guy's a maniac. And thank you so much, Mike, too. I appreciate you. And he says, on a good note, how great does Gears E-Day look? Certainly surpassed my expectations. Absolutely. Gears of War E-Day is going to be a wonderful game. And I can tell you this, my two, seeing it in person, it's even better. It's even better. Yes, Gears of War. Thank you so much for the 6 euros, brother. Appreciate you again. Yes, Gears of War E-Day is going to be fantastic. I cannot wait to get my hands on that. And I'm actually, now the thing is, I'm actually thinking about temporarily giving my wife one of my Xboxes because she's a pony.
Ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies.
So I might give her one of my Xboxes because she's a huge Gears head, and she was under the impression that she was going to be playing Gears of War E-Day day one on the PlayStation. And I said, no, that's not going to happen. I said it's going to be delayed. And then, of course, we got the rug pull. We got the rug pull over the weekend. Asha did the big old rug pull. Did the big old rug pull. And then, well, now she's not getting it. At least temporarily. Anyhow, let's move on from there. So, yes, so I might give her my Series S. I'll give her the shitty console. I'm just kidding. It's not a shitty console. My Series S is a beast, man. I'll tell you that right now. Let me tell you something, folks. For my, yeah, I know people can't make heads or tails of what kind of a person I am. Because they're like, man, this guy spent the first 45 minutes just like ripping Xbox apart, and then the second half he's praising it. What I do is I do reality, because reality isn't all black and white, okay? There are things that I love, like my baseball team of the Toronto Blue Jays. Do I sit there and just like swallow their knob day and night? Oh, Blue Jays, or do you do this? Fucking guy can't even pitch a goddamn game. Get him out of the game. Throw him out of the game. They do it for everything. Your favorite sports team, your favorite soccer team, your football team, whatever the hell you want to call it, your favorite whatever. What do you do? Do you praise them nonstop? Or does it, or the rare occasion when like Ohtani has a strikeout, you go, you fucking clown, right? Same thing. Forza Horizon 6, I streamed, and I didn't tell anybody, and I did it on purpose. The first stream I did of Forza Horizon 6, I did on my Series X. Obviously, it looked fantastic, played fantastic, whatever else. The second stream, I didn't tell anybody, and I told everybody after about an hour and a half into the stream what I said. I said, by the way, guys, fun fact, I'm actually streaming this on the Series S. And the audience went batshit. They were like, what? They're like, that's the Series S? We thought you were still playing the Series X. And I'm like, no, it's a great machine. It's a powerful little machine. It does its thing. Yeah, it has its problems with a lot of games that, people are, having issues with or whatever. But for like their own, their in-house first party games or whatever, they play just fine on that thing. And I was playing in performance mode, 60 FPS on my Series S, and nobody even noticed the difference, Anyways. Let's get back to it. Bernie, a member for 6 months. Thank you so much, Bernie.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Yeah. Welcome to hell, Bernie. Thank you so much. A member of 6 months says, with a member chat, he says, do you spin them off if you're Microsoft? No, I do. No, you don't. I say no to that. I say no, you don't do any of that. I say no. Don't do that. I hope that answered that question. I mean, I talked about it earlier in the show, so I didn't want to talk about it again. But yeah, I wouldn't do that, and I don't think that's happening. I think that's just, like I said, if you actually read what the information from the three people said, it was just an option. It means nothing. People are going to run with it because it's great for clicks, it's great for engagement, great for videos. You know, it's a shocking headline on a thumbnail. You know what I mean? But that's why I didn't make a video about it, because I looked at it, I read it, I analyzed it, and I went through it, and I picked out all the key words, and I went, nah, that ain't happening. And if it does, I will come right out on the show right here and say, guys, go ahead. Hit me with all the arrows. I was wrong. But I'm telling you, that's not happening. So I would not spin it off, no. And Wandering Dutch, my friend! Where the hell have you been? I love Wandering Dutch. It's been so long, man. I haven't seen him in such a long time. I hope you're doing well, my friend. And yes, I appreciate you being here, brother. And he gifts one gifted member. Thank you so much, Wandering Dutch, for gifting one member. And that went to Marco81, actually, who's here all the time. Thank you. There you go, Marco. Make sure you thank Wandering Dutch for that. And I'm thanking Wandering Dutch for that. And for that new channel member.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
Welcome to hell. Thank you so much, Dutch. I appreciate you, brother. I hope the beard continues to grow, my friend. And oh my God, this guy, I'm actually getting mad. The man has dropped a 7th super chat, ladies and gentlemen. It's absolutely unbelievable. Mighty has dropped another 6 euros. This guy is making it rain like a strip club at 3 a.m. Just making it go, just making it fly. Let's go. And My2 says, for another 6 euros, he says, changes to my Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Mag. You are breaking my heart. Yeah. I'm sorry to be the one to break your heart, buddy, but yeah, they will be making changes. There will be changes. But not for a while, okay? So remember, My2, this is what I was saying earlier. When you watch the showcase, which I'm sure you all did, and I was there, I watched it too, all the games that they got coming out for this year into next year were advertised as day one in Game Pass. There is not one scenario. There's not one scenario where they turn around and say, just kidding, and they're going to take that away. No. I think, like I said, I could be wrong. I think that what's going to happen is after those games that they just showed or whatever else going to Game Pass day one, that's the line where they're going to make a decision as to the future. That's exactly why. So they're going to wait. So all the games that they showcase and everything else, they're all going to go to Game Pass day one as per usual, business as usual. You know what I mean?
It's all part of the plan.
Right? But after that, I think that's where they're going to see the change. So it buys them about a year and a half, right? So it buys them about a year and a half where they go, okay, what are we going to do? And so now they're going to sit down and make something that you probably won't see come into fruition until next generation. That's what I'm thinking. Skulls Gaming asks in the chat, why does Mag play more on PS5 than Xbox? Because I've said it a million times. My wife and my kids all own PlayStations. I'm the only person who owns Xbox. And because of that, I game share with my wife. And as I game share with my wife, I buy all my third-party games on PlayStation so that she gets to enjoy them, as opposed to me buying them on Xbox for myself and then buying them again on PlayStation so she gets to play them, because she plays basically all the same games I play. So that's another reason why. And also, let's not lie to ourselves, another reason why is because the PS5 Pro has the better console versions of most of the games out there. And I enjoy looking at that. So it's a twofold answer for you as to why I do that. But that's exactly why I do that. Yeah. So, like, for example, like all these games I'm playing right now. Lego Batman. My wife's playing Lego Batman. I get them all on PlayStation. 007. Whatever. Crimson Desert. All these games I all buy on PlayStation. And like I said, 2 reasons. 1, PS5 Pro has the best console version of the game. And number 2, I game share with my wife. And I live in a house full of ponies.
Ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and ponies and
Sauza, Xbox dead again? No, it's not. They're not dead. There's just going to be radical changes. That's all there is. That's another thing people have to get out of their heads. Don't listen to those headlines. Those headlines are misleading, uneducated, and ridiculous. And clout chasing, engagement chasing headlines. It's not dead. They're going to be significantly changing the business plan. They're going to be shaving down the size. They're going to make it leaner. significantly more so because they're carrying a lot of dead weight and they're hemorrhaging money, and it's costing them a goddamn fortune. Those are the realities. And the realities are, here's another reality for everybody in the chat. People are going to come after me for saying that shit instead of the actual woman herself. Asha said it from her own lips. And this is going to be the I own you moment where I'm going to read out everything that she said right now. That's going to be our last topic of the evening. I'm going to read it out. Everything that she said is everything that I've been saying for the last 2 years. And the fact that she's saying it out of her own mouth, there's nothing you could fucking say to me now. And I'm not talking about you guys. You guys are awesome. I'm talking about the detractors out there, the haters out there, the blockers out there, the shit talkers out there. Talk all the shit you want, motherfuckers, because it's coming out of her mouth. And that's why you guys, not you guys, you know what I mean. Those guys, I'm talking directly to those clowns. That's why y'all got real fucking quiet. Because now she's saying exactly what I've been saying since 2023 when they had that 2-year drought. And I said, what the fuck are these guys doing over here? And I started calling it out. And I took the arrows for it. Other people, other YouTubers took arrows for it. And now it come out of her own lips. The CEO of Xbox is saying it. It's what I call justice. Now, am I happy about that? No, I'm not happy about that. I already said it. I said this is an I told you so that I never wanted. I don't want this I told you so. Okay? I didn't want this. But I'm telling you, this is what's happening. And then the thing is, if you want this thing to move forward and be successful and be competitive and continue to go on for several decades and years, whatever, then you got to be either on board or get the fuck out. That's all there is to it, because you don't have a say. I don't have a say. All we can do is we can analyze and talk about it. But we can't do anything else beyond that. She's going to do what she's going to do. And I'm all for it. Do it. Because at least you're doing something. Just do something. Don't talk as much and just do it. And if it works, it works. Then you're going to be hailed as a genius. If it doesn't work, at least you fucking tried. It's better than doing nothing. It's better than rolling over and just be wishy-washy for years. Just do something. And that's exactly what she's going to do. I'm telling you right now, she's going to do it. For good or ill, something is going to happen. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot. Hardware is the other thing we're going to talk about in just a moment as well. And we got Cruxton coming in. I'm member for 7 months. Thank you so much, Cruxton. Appreciate you, brother.
Welcome to hell, motherfucker!
That's it. Welcome to hell, buddy. And he says, with his member chat, thank you so much for being a member for 7 months, man. I really appreciate all the support. And he says, Microsoft games for seniors. Just saying, let's go. I'm all for that. We're practically there, okay? We're practically there, man. We're practically there. Thank you so much, Cruxton. Appreciate you. And we got Broke Boy coming in with a $2 super chat. Let's go. 1 week campaign early access for Modern Warfare 4 pre-order. Dude, are you fucking serious? 1 week campaign early access? That's a huge thing. Now, hold on a second. Broke Boy, right in the chat. You don't have to super chat me again. Thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate you, brother. Right in the chat. Does that apply to everything, or is that just Xbox? Like, does that apply to Steam, Xbox, and PlayStation? Or is it just Xbox thing? Because that would be a way, if you want to get more people engaged in Xbox, you want to get a week early, you got to buy it over there. You see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of hardball business decisions that they used to make back in the day. They should be doing the same shit again. But anyways, Broke Boy, let me know. Or someone else in the chat, let me know. And we've got, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the cloth. We have the holiest podcast on all of YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Why? Because it is sponsored by my dear friend, Father Alex is in the house, the man of the cloth himself, the man who carries the word of the good Lord to all of us maggots. Father Alex, welcome to the chat, my friend, and I hope your day is well. Be one with God, my friend. And he says, for $2.79, he says, Microsoft selling X brand. Is it true? It is not.
Yeah! Fire!
As far as I know, Father Alex, as far as I know, that is a falsehood. That it was just a, that was just an option on the table of several business options, I think, and that's what I think happened there, Alex. Thank you so much for this super chat, brother. I appreciate it. So yeah, we talked about it early in the show, so I know you came late, but go back and go check out the beginning of it, and then we'll see from there. And we got Mirko coming in, dropping a $5 super chat. Let's go, Mirko! Thank you so much, Mirko. Appreciate the support, brother. And of course, you just got that membership from Wandering Dutch. That's awesome. That's what I'm talking about, paying it forward, folks. And he says, "Hope you don't mind me asking, of course, but has she enjoyed a game that surprised you? As in, wow, you like that one, huh?" You talking about my wife? She became a huge fan because she skipped the first 10, and she became a huge fan of the Assassin's Creed series, and now she's obsessed with Assassin's Creed. So there it is. Assassin's Creed is the big one. Yeah. So all of a sudden, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, Mirko. You're talking about my wife and her gaming habits. Yeah. So she became she tried. I can't remember what it was. What was her first one? Assassin's Creed Valhalla was her first one. Oh! She loved it. And then what ended up happening is she ended up getting in there, and then she loved Assassin's Creed Valhalla. She put 300 hours into it. Then she started playing the other ones. Then she played AC Shadows, which I have yet to play since the PSSR 2 update. I haven't even turned the damn game on. I look forward to that. And eventually, when I get to it. And yeah, she's obsessed with Assassin's Creed. She loves Lego games. She loves that. Hogwarts Legacy, she's big into I like to call it the RPG light open world action adventure game. She loves that shit. She loves God of War games. She loves. She doesn't like Spider-Man. That's a surprising one. She hates it because it makes her nauseous. Because the movement and stuff, especially on her TV, she has a huge TV, and the movement and stuff makes her nauseous, so she couldn't fucking play it. Fuzzy Tomato, all DC. Yeah, exactly. DC Dreamcast guy headlines. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was getting at earlier. Yeah. And yeah, I play about 70-30 PlayStation now because of, like I said, I game share with my wife. So all third-party games I play on PlayStation. So, and then everything else on Xbox. Actually, I got, what did I get? Last month, I got 3,000 achievements on there. I was creeping up to that 400,000 achievement points. So not bad. Not bad for a pony. Yeah. And we got Mikey B coming in. Hey, Mikey B drops a $2 super chat. He says, "My Cardinal, my direction, our mag, happy for you." Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Iron Storm. Hey, Iron Storm's in the house. He goes, "Mag is the man and says it how it is." You're fucking right, I do. I'm not. Listen, man, listen. Let me tell you something. You know what, Mr. Round the Twist? She actually doesn't like Last of Us 2 because it was too scary. So I kicked her in the shins and called her a pussy, and then I ran away. And the reason why I had to run away is because my wife is Irish. If she gets her hand on me, I'm fucking dead, dude. She will knock me out. I'll tell you a quick story. We were at a bar a couple of years ago. Well, more than a couple. It was just before the pandemic. Went to a bar, and some girl, drunk. We're outside. We're walking away, minding our own goddamn business. And this drunk girl and her two friends are sitting there. And one of the girls starts chirping my wife. And as we walk past, the girl gets in my wife's face sideways and said something. I didn't even hear what she said because I was lighting a cigarette. I used to smoke in those days, right? So I know it's not scary. I know it's not scary, 1500, but she thought it was scary. So I'm lighting the smoke and I go like this and I go like that. Well, I didn't see what was going down. And this woman goes in, or this girl goes in, turns and says something to my wife right the side of her face. And as I lit my smoke, I went like this and I took a drag and I turned around. When she came around my wife's face like that, my wife grabbed her by her neck and went poof, 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 and literally knocked her out unconscious while she was still on her feet. 3 shots in the face, and the girl was out, and she was still standing. That's how fast and hard she hit her. Yeah, literally like a hockey player, bam, bam, bam. And the chick was out. And when I turned, I took a drag of my smoke, and I go, what the fuck just happened? I didn't even see it was that fast. And then you know what she did? Her friends came over and grabbed her friend, and my wife turned to me and she goes, "Just keep walking." And we just kept walking. And I didn't even know. And then I asked her afterwards, like on the way home, I'm like, what the hell just happened? And she goes, oh, this fucking girl. Like, she said something when we walked past, and then she started following me, and then she got in my face. And I didn't see it because I literally, like I said, like I pulled out a smoke from my jacket, and I went like this, and I lit it, and I had my head down. And then when I lifted my head back up and took my drag, the chick was already unconscious on her feet. Yeah, so that's why if I'm going to call her a pussy, I'll just kick her in the shin and call her a pussy and run. Yeah. Okay, all right, enough of that nonsense. Okay, so, I mean, it wasn't nonsense, it was funny. Let's read this situation here, and then we're going to talk about one last thing before we go, and that's going to be about the hardware, because that's another drama, okay? So let's talk about this. And I quote, "Team," this is from Asha herself. All right, this is from the woman herself. What's up, citizen? How you doing, man? Thank you for being here, brother. Team, over the first 100 days together, we have started to revive Xbox. Our platform teams have already shipped more updates in the last 100 days than during the prior year combined. We now have more active partners on Xbox than ever before. Our Game Pass team set to work fixing our offering, and after 8+ months of decline, dun, 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 our service has started to grow again. That is correct. By the way, I'd like to interject there. There was a town hall meeting when she first took over. And during that town hall meeting, the numbers had actually, when numbers were like over 30 million for Game Pass or whatever, they had estimated that it dropped down to 24 million. Yeah, that's fucking bad. Now, it's back up. FaZe, my wife would kick my ass. Yeah, it's best to just not bother them, FaZe. Yeah. Navy Shadow, I actually did not know that. Folks, this is a fun fact, okay? He says, Navy Shadow in the chat, first of all, welcome. And he says, hey, did you know PlayStation SIE is already a wholly owned subsidiary under Sony? I did not know that. That is fucking fascinating, dude. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. For real. You see, you learn something every day, folks. I did not know that. Very interesting. Huh. I'm going to bring that up on Monday because you know this topic's going to come up on Monday on XNC. So... All in TV says, bet you $100 that Helix will never come out from Microsoft. As far as I know, it still will, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let me continue here. So yeah, so anyways, it says 8+ months of decline. So the last we heard, well, not we, I heard that it was somewhere around 24+ million. So they dropped quite significantly during that price hike up to the $30 range. For me in Canada, almost $40 friggin' dollars a month. Yeah. So, and that, you know, I wasn't subscribed anyway, but whatever. Anyways, our service has started to grow again, which is also true. Matthew Ballhead did talk about that it had jumped. It had jumped significantly in a good way, but they're still under 30 million. And through Player Voice, we have a 24-hour channel to hear direct from players, creators, and developers. All right. That's not really interesting. She talks about the showcase. We don't want to hear about that. These results are early, but they demonstrate what is possible when we move faster, stay close to our community, and align behind a shared vision. We have made mistakes. Well, she hasn't. She just inherited mistakes. And listen, man, I'm not going to be the Captain America shield, okay? I'm not blocking everything that's going her way, but let's be honest, man. She didn't do any of this shit. She inherited. Someone messaged me. Actually, he's in the chat tonight. And he said to me, he says, man, what a shit show at Microsoft, or it's something about that shit show. And I said, nah, she inherited a shit show. She inherited a shit show. And that's why it's going to take something radical to fix it. Anyways, we continue. We have made mistakes, and we will continue to make them. But what matters is that we listen, learn, and adjust the course where needed. Remember, our fans are rooting for us. Now we start the next 100 days. This is what's important, folks. This is what the title of the show is all about tonight. It is important to have both optimism and realism. You guys hear that? Let me say that once again. Hadouken, how you doing, bud? It is important to have both optimism, which is fine. That's great. You want to have positive, healthy outlook on the ecosystem, right? This is the word I want you all to focus on. Realism as we work to reset the business. I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to analyze that word. Realism. What she's getting at is that, and I've been saying this too, much to the chagrin of many people, the business is not going to move forward on your hopes and dreams. The business is going to move forward on the reality of the situation. Those realities are going to be harsh and shocking for quite a few traditional Xbox players. Not shocking in a way that's like, oh my God, you can't even recognize the business. No. But it's going to move in a direction that I think some people will be unhappy about, because at the same time, when you think about it, a lot of people want change and they want things to be better or whatever else. But as I told you at the beginning of the show, I was reading in the chat when I was doing the other show with Colt. They're all like, but we want things to change. And I'm like, well, that's not how it works, guys. Like, you know what I mean? That's not how it works. Anyways, here are the realities that we need to navigate. Number one, over 1 billion players choose to play Xbox and our games each year, for a total of 72 billion hours across console, PC, mobile, streaming, excluding much of China and a few other properties. Now, when they also say all those billions, they're also talking about Candy Crush, all right? So, like, you know. Our franchises are also among the largest and most beloved globally and are now breaking records in TV and film. Going forward, our competition is attention. There are more great games, TV series, franchises, creators, content formats, apps than ever before. Number two, we will end this fiscal year at about a 3% accountability margin. Yikes. Down year over year, excluding ABK. Over the past 5 years, we have spent over $20 billion on ongoing investments in our content, platform, and hardware subsidy, but our annual revenue has declined nearly $500 million during that time. Listen to this. Going forward, this cannot continue. So, for everybody looking for the same business plan, you ain't getting it. It's changing dramatically. For everybody saying, oh, no, but you can't touch Game Pass, you're fucking right she is. Well, you can't do this, you can't touch the hardware. You're fucking right she is. Well, you can't touch exclusivity or third party or this and that, whatever. You're fucking right she is. Shall I read it again? Going forward, this cannot continue. She also said earlier in the week when she had that sit down, you know, like the actual camera meeting or whatever, not this memo. What did she say? We can't keep doing the same thing. It's coming from her mouth. She literally said we can't keep doing the same thing. What does that tell you guys? Everybody in the chat, y'all know what I'm talking about. You're all the critical thinkers. You're here, aren't you? What does that tell you? That tells you that everything that's going on right now that you love about Xbox ain't going to be there in the future. Quote, we can't keep doing the same things. Also, quote, going forward, this cannot continue. So, how do you break that all down? Well, you start with layoffs. That's always the first obvious thing that every corporation does, right? They start with the layoffs, start trimming the fat, start making the team smaller, start making more focused experiences, cut down development time. Whether that includes AI or not, that's a whole conversation for another day. But they're going to have to speed up development time. They're going to have to work on... They got a lot of work to do. It's going to be speeding up development time, cutting down staff, most likely utilizing some more AI in order to help do the heavy lifting or whatever else. And on top of everything else, quality software that people want. That's a big hill to climb, but you know what? The other companies are doing it. If they can do it, Microsoft can do it, or Xbox can do it, right? Now, not everybody. You know, a lot of people are shitting all over Naughty Dog right now. They're taking too long, this and that or whatever, but it is what it is. But overall, as a company, yeah. And then, of course, the live service fiasco from Johnny Carson over there, Jim Ryan. Like he really put, he really threw his shoes into the Clockworks there and fucked everything up, sabotaged that whole situation and caused a lot of delays. Sure, didn't help. But they still dominate on the third-party game scene, and that's why they're continuing to do what they do. Anyways, let's go on. We are in a hardware component crisis. This is important, guys, and this is going to be the last point we're going to talk about tonight. We are in a hardware component crisis. When I joined as CEO in February, the price we paid for console storage components was over 2 times as high as we paid last fall. These costs have since doubled again, and as we plan for the 2027 holiday season, we expect 2027 holiday season is when they plan on launching the Helix. We expect another significant increase, taking us over 5 times the prices we paid only 2 years earlier. Memory costs have followed a broadly similar trajectory. While the entire industry is facing a components crisis caused by AI, we believe we have been impacted more greatly than many of our peers due to the choices we have made over the last half decade. We are currently unable to make as many consoles as players want to buy. Yeah, that's because you stopped production of the Series X like a year and a half ago. Anyways, carrying on. Wanted to buy, and we need a new business model and partnerships for hardware as we remain committed to Helix. Okay. That's very important. Hey, Elk Lord, how you doing, buddy? That's very... Otaku, how are you, buddy? Okay, so here's the situation. There are a lot of people out there saying that Helix is not happening anymore. There's no next-gen hardware, blah, 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 blah. I can tell you that as far as I know from now and the people I've spoken to up until, I guess, a couple days ago, even after the people I met in LA, that Helix is still happening. How that's going to look is going to be entirely different. I don't think you're going to get the Helix that you once thought it was going to be. It's going to be reshaped, refocused, is my guess. That kind of idea. And, of course, not just a guess. And so make something more affordable, maybe not as powerful. I could absolutely see them doing a more powerful version as a third-party OEM device. So that's the thing. Literal Table, how you doing, buddy? Lambent Lucky, yes, we talked about that a little earlier about the Game Pass day and date. Now, for the foreseeable future, everything that was shown in the showcase are going to be day and date on Game Pass. They advertise it right there during the showcase. I think after that, that's where decisions are being made. So that buys them about a year and a half of time to come up with a solution to the situation. So, yeah. So, therefore, I'm thinking this. I think Helix is going to be a cheaper device. It's not going to be as powerful. It's not going to have Steam. She reiterated by that again, by the way. She keeps saying it. You guys hear, you got to be very careful when you listen to the way these people talk. You know, when they talked about, like, the games going to PlayStation. Remember when Phil Spencer, that whole famous thing, the whole famous interview and all that shit? And what did he say? Those games are not, when they're like, oh, you know, our game's going over, you know, to PlayStation, and he says just 4 games. And remember all that. Then he also said, when they asked the question about third-party games, oh, well, those games aren't Starfield or Indiana Jones. And I'm like, and I'm listening to that interview, and I'm going, excuse me, hi. Did anybody else notice that that's not the fucking question he answered? He just answered a completely different question. And it's like he dodged it completely, right? You got to be careful with how they say things. Like, for example, what Asha said, she said, when she was talking about the next-gen hardware, to be able to play your Xbox and to access your PC games. She said, access your PC games. She did not say access the Steam store or the Epic store or whatever. She said, access your PC games. Because I don't think Steam is going to go on there. I know everybody wanted that there. I wanted it on there. Because if that's the case, instead of me spending $2,000+ on a Helix, because, you know, convert to Canadian and all that shit, I will just upgrade my PC and I'll be able to have Xbox and Steam right on there and become a PC player, which I've never done before, but I will do it now. Right? And just skip that whatever the Helix is going to be. And just upgrade my PC, and then there you go. Then I'll be able to have what I had originally envisioned what the Helix is going to be. The Helix, I think, is going to be a cheaper model. And then I don't mean cheaper like, you know, like cheap like in bad. I mean, like, it's going to be cheaper. It's not going to be as powerful. It's not going to have Steam on there. Not going to have access to they'll have access to the Windows PC is my guess, and your Xbox ecosystem and whatever, your account and all that jazz. Now, if you want something more powerful of what the Helix was presumed to be, that's where I think it's going to be made by somebody else. And that's where you're going to get a third-party OEM. Again, I might be completely wrong, but from the people I talk to, doesn't sound like I'm very wrong. Yes, Jardel. He says, Mag, do you think they can redesign the Helix at this late stage? Absolutely, because they haven't started it yet. All it is virtual right now. It's what they call virtual design right now. They basically do everything in like a virtual 3D sort of, you know, kind of like Iron Man. You know, like when Iron Man puts on his little glasses and he's building shit with his like they do basically that. They could easily do that. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. And she basically says it. Now, I'm not giving full conviction that that's what she said, but I mean, just read it again. We are currently on we talked about that. We need a new business model and partnerships for hardware as we remain committed to Helix. Okay. So there's that. So that's what I'm thinking is exactly what's going to happen with the hardware. RPG, how you doing, buddy? Mr. Santo comes in, drops a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Santo. But he says if Helix doesn't have Steam, I'm not buying it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to have Steam. Now, the other reason why I think it won't have Steam. Now, someone else pointed out to me a little while ago, yeah, but they're like, oh, the ROG Xbox Ally X had Steam. And I'm like, it's not an Xbox. It's a third-party OEM with the Xbox app on it. Of course you can have Steam on there because it's an open platform. But if it's made internally within Microsoft or Xbox, it's not an open platform. And they can't afford to make an open platform. Not with not up to 5 times the prices that we're paying now or they're paying last year. That's insanity. And anyways, that's what I would expect from the hardware. It's going to be changed, different, stripped down, made more affordable. And if you want that powerful Helix with access to Steam and everything else, you'll be getting it from a third-party OEM very similar to the ROG Xbox Ally X. And the reason why, if people think that that's out of the realm of possibility, the ROG Xbox Ally X exists right now. And it's exactly that. A third-party OEM with Xbox on it and Steam on it. So it's not like it's a crazy idea. Like, oh, Mag, you maniac, what's this crazy ideas you're coming up with? The product is out right now. You could buy it right now. You know? That's all I'm trying to say. Allow us to continue. Our current platform infrastructure, this is really important. Our current platform infrastructure is not built for the battle ahead. Okay? So they're not like they're giving up, eh, folks? So like this is not a doom and gloom podcast, okay? This is just the realities. And it's coming from her mouth. It ain't coming from me. Is not built for the battle ahead. Our systems are overly complex, spanning hundreds of dependencies. That's what I'm trying to say. Dead weight. Which hinders our ability to move fast. Dead weight. We've become too reliant on vendors to operate our systems. Dead weight. And must become more self-reliant as an engineering culture to build for the future. That's another thing. Like, for example, Sony, they can build their own parts. They have been building their own parts, and that's why they won't struggle in order to build the PlayStation 6 and continue to build PS5s and PS5 Pros. Whereas she's openly saying they can't even make consoles right now for people who want to upgrade for Call of Duty and GTA 6. She said we don't have the parts to make the consoles to be able to to appease the demand. She said it herself. Right there. I just read it 5 minutes ago. Anyways. We must increase the value we ship to players while decreasing the time it takes to do so. That's another thing I was talking about earlier. Shortening the dev time, but keeping the quality there. Going forward, we'll evolve and rebuild our stack and look at capabilities across all of Xbox and potential M&A to help us win in hardware, PC, mobile, and streaming. For some of you, these realities will be surprising and even frustrating to discover. Oh, you'll discover all right in about 3 weeks. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths. Thank you. Tough love, folks. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing. Ha! You see? Okay? Right fucking there. Right there. Right there, right there, right there. Listen to this. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this like 6 times in a row. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. Y'all even made me stand up for that one. What's up, Aluminum? How you doing, man? I'm having fun with this, folks. Let me read it one more time for the 200 people here in the chat. Spread the word to everybody who don't seem to understand this. Coming from Asha Sharma's actual mouth. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. I saw it with my own eyes 2 nights ago in the chat when I was reading the chat. We want all these changes. We need all these changes. But don't change this. Don't change that. Don't change this. Don't change that. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You literally just want the same thing, but you just want them to win. Some imaginary war. She said it herself across finances, hardware, software, profit margins, mind share. They're losing across the board. She said it. I read it all in the last 20 minutes. And then finishes that by saying we're losing in all these categories. And she says, we cannot let this continue. That was number one. And then she ends it all by saying, we won't succeed by hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. What the fuck else do you want? It's so clear. It's in a gift basket and handed to you. The truth is handed to you. So therefore, once everybody accepts it, which they won't because whatever, can't help those people. Once they accept that truth, then you can move forward. But you know what, though? And I'm talking about them. Those fanboys can move forward. Xbox is going to move forward without them. They don't give a fuck. They're going to be like, all right, dude, like, you're either on the bus or you're not. And they can fuck. They can talk all they want, but at the same time, they're like, all right, man, listen, we're going. We're leaving. So if you want to stay there and bitch, go ahead. We're leaving. They're going to move ahead and do all this. They're saying the hard truths. There's people walking around with their eyes like this, okay, with their hands over their face like this, and they're not paying attention, or they're covering their ears. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. They're pretending it's not happening. It's right fucking there, and it's coming from her mouth. So this is why we're doing this tonight. I'm doing this tonight because it's not an I gotcha moment. It's not an I told you so moment, even though it kind of is. But at the same time, what it is that I'm trying to just say, guys, everything that I've been saying for the last couple of years that I keep taking all these fucking grief from these online clown boys and all these trolls.
In the dungeon! Turn around in the dungeon!
She's now saying it. So you accept it, you move on. It doesn't affect your life. Like, it doesn't affect your life that their margins are 3%. Does it affect your life that margins are 3%? No. Continue to play on Xbox. Have fun. Play with all your friends. Play with me. We'll do all whatever. Who gives a shit? We're consumers, right? Let's have fun and do all that stuff. Let them do the business. But one day there's going to be a point, and it's coming soon. Part 1 is coming very soon, of the plans are going to change. And that's where you as a consumer are going to say, okay, now I'm going to see what I'm going to do here in terms of what I'm going to be a part of, what I'm not going to be a part of, whether I decide to adopt new hardware or keep my hardware, stream, use cloud, which is also going to be a big focus in the future. As I've already said, cloud is going to be a big focus. That's entirely up to you as a consumer. But they're going to move forward with it, and I say just go. Just do it. Just do it. Just go ahead and do it. And I'm greatly looking forward to seeing how this all pans out. That is a 2-hour and 10-minute rant. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Whew. Yeah, I had to get that out of my system, man. Exactly, Beast Mode. Just do it. Just do it. There's a very famous company with a swish that say that all the time. Isn't there? Isn't there? Just do it. That's what I have to say. No, QMax, I can't. I have to go. I got people. I'm going to go see the United States of America playing against Paraguay tonight. So, it is what it is. Do I feel better? No. No, it doesn't affect my life. I'm just trying to point out the literal obviousness of it. But there's still going to be people out there. Can you start again? I just got here. Oh my God. I'm just pointing out the obvious. And you know what the thing is? The funny thing is, there are people that are so fucking stupid out there that I could literally say what I just said for the last 2 hours and 10 minutes and go, no. I'm like, okay, listen, man. I don't waste my time with any of those people. Not anymore. I used to. Listen, man. You guys know, like a lot of you guys know, I have anxiety issues, right? And they've like literally governed. Hey, Shaboogs, how you doing, buddy? It's governed a lot of my life, and I try to fight it every day. And one of the things and one of the side effects I have, anybody who has anxiety out there know that one of the side effects or whatever of that thing is that you're always trying to please everybody, right? I've gotten to a point now where I'm just like, you know what, man? Fuck you. I am done pleasing people. I'm just going to say what it is, and that's all there's to say. Hey, Krevlian, just subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. You get your name and lights, buddy. You got your name and lights. And just for you, buddy, thanks for joining the channel, and you got a little bit of this.
Welcome to hell!
Welcome to hell.
Motherfucker!
Let's go. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done with all of that. I'm just going to do my thing. I'm telling. Why do you think I opened my own channel? I opened my own channel because I needed to tell my truth, and obviously the real truth. And I try to do as much of it as I can. I try to be as genuine as possible. Disingenuity I try to keep out of everything I say. I don't spin things for narratives. I don't try to get clicks. I just do what I do, and that's all there is to it. You either ride with it or you don't, and that's totally fine. And if you have a completely different opinion, totally cool too. It's totally cool too. But after saying, hey, Mastermind, how you doing, man? But after seeing all this, you can't say it doesn't exist. 2 hours of proof coming from her mouth. You know what I mean? Opinions are one thing. But everything that has transpired this week after the showcase of everything she said, she is literally warning you. So I'm not going to talk about this shit again. Except for on XNC, we're going to talk about it on Monday for sure. Obviously, it's going to spill into Tuesday with MAGGCAST. I'm sure there'll be other things to talk about. I'm expecting GTA 6 to be next week sometime because I figured they're just waiting for, summer showcase to be over. Let the hype sort of die down from all the different showcases, which were wonderful, by the way. What a fantastic 4 days. Overwhelming and tough to get through, man. I'm telling you, like 18-hour days and no sleep and all that shit. It was rough. But it was worth it. It really was worth it at the end of the day. Absolutely fantastic. And Deakins comes in, drops a $5 super chat to end the show. Thank you so much, Deakins. And he says for $5, hold on. I'm gonna help cure the Sunday blues for you, buddy. He says, feeling the Sunday blues when hearing about Xbox potentially selling. I am telling you, they're not selling. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I don't think that's happening. That's just something that got out there that I think was one of many options. I mean, I could read it again for you, man. Here, I'll help you feel better, okay? Look. That's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to try to help you guys feel better. Don't worry about it. Listen to this, all right? Kins, this is just for you. Microsoft doesn't have any imminent restructuring plans, but those options are on the table. That's all he said. In particular, hold on. Microsoft CEOs have approved of Sharma's plan to spend more on top-tier games and all that stuff. No, that's not it. Here we go. Nadella and Hood haven't ruled out restructuring Xbox's relationship to Microsoft at some point in the future if doing so would make Xbox a more successful business. Okay? So, kids, that does not mean that Xbox is going anywhere. The people said. The People's Court. Dun-dun-dun. They said options on the table could. 2 key words there. Options and could. That means nothing. That means nothing tangible. Options on the table could include making Xbox a wholly owned subsidiary of Microsoft, which, by the way, was pointed out to me in the chat a little while ago, that's exactly what PlayStation is with Sony. Did that affect anything? No. So you're all right. A joint venture or spinning out Xbox entirely. That's what people are clinging on to. They're grabbing onto that last part there, spinning out Xbox entirely. That is just one of several options. Does not mean they're going to explore it. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. Xbox, I'll tell you this right now. Hey, Chris Jones, how you doing? I'm telling you this right now. I'm looking right in the camera, okay? All right? Xbox ain't going anywhere. So anybody Xbox fans out there or whatever else, I'm putting all your troubles to rest, your thoughts to rest. It will be different, but it ain't going anywhere. Your games ain't going anywhere. Your franchises aren't going anywhere, at least the big ones. You know what I mean? So don't worry about that stuff. You'll be just fine. It's just things need to be changed. That's all. So there it is. Anyways, Grandpa Barbecue Game God comes in and drops 2 Australian didgeridoo. Let's go. And he says, Xbox lives. It's alive. Alive. Yeah, it's alive. Don't worry about it. Grandpa Barbecue, it's going to be all good. And listen, man, I'm going to be out in the pub tomorrow night at midnight. It's going to be midnight my time to watch Australia in the World Cup. Let's fucking go. Let's see the Roos do their thing, man. I'm looking forward to it. 9 p.m. is Scotland, and then 12 a.m. is going to be Australia. I'm looking forward to both of those games greatly. It's going to be so awesome, man. Yeah, it's going to be so awesome. So, hey, X-Burk, how you doing, man? Love the addition of Judas Priest to your soundboard. Oh, you want to hear it again? Oh, a little bit of Judas Priest. That's for you. That's for you. And we got Chris Jones Gaming coming in, dropping a $2 super chat as well. And he says, pleasure to hang out to LA together. Yes, it was, my friend. Yes, it was. It was so good, man. Dude, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I was so fucking tired. I mean, like, every day I was so overwhelmed by everything that was going on around us and all that, and seeing all the games and the showcases and the traveling and the hanging out and meeting everybody. Like, I was so overwhelmed. I was like dizzy, like physically dizzy. I remember, hey Dallas, how you doing, bud? And I mean, even at the Xbox showcase when we were outside the theater, dude, I was leaning on the wall, holding my hand because I thought I was gonna faint because I was just like, I was so like effed up from the whole thing. Yeah, it was so much. Hey, Sofa King, how you doing, man? Thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. And also, speaking of the World Cup, congratulations to my Mexican brothers for their win the other day. The win yesterday. All right. Let's go, Mexico. Yes. I know, Doctor, is it Caracas? It looks like it's Caracas. I'm going to call you that. We're going to call you the doctor. And he says, talking about cold, cheated people, what about the Canada football team? Hell fucking yeah, let's go. That was a nice goal in the 80th minute. It was fantastic. The Top Gamer Pro comes in, drops a $2 super chat as well. Thank you so much, Top Gamer Pro. Appreciate you, brother. And he says it's going to get worse before it gets better. Yeah, for them, but it doesn't. But here's the thing, guys. Guys, remember this. It doesn't affect you. All the games that you saw at the showcase, which is literally the next year and a half, are all coming out. None of them are canceled, and they're all coming out day one on Game Pass. So at least for the next year and a half, while they're making all these moves and changes and this and that, it'll be status quo for you as the gamer. So don't worry about it. It'll all be good, man. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. That's right, Captain Crunch. By the way, your cereal always hurts the roof of my mouth, okay? I'm blaming you entirely.
Yeah!
There you go, Captain Crunch. And he says, always darkest before the dawn. Yeah, it always is. But the thing is, there's really no doom and gloom here. This is what I've been trying to say for the last 2.5 hours. There's no doom and gloom. The doom and gloom already happened, guys. You guys get this. I know you guys get it. You guys are smart. You're here watching me. Okay? The doom and gloom already happened. Now she's got a mop and a fucking scoopy, and she's here to scoop up all the shit. Whether it works or not is entirely up to, hey, Pico Trek, how you doing, buddy? I didn't even say hi to you yet. If it works, well, that's a whole other story. We have to wait and find out. But the shit show already happened. That's what I've been trying to say, guys. That's what I've been trying to say. The last couple years that I've been catching all the shit for all the stuff that I've been saying. And I'm like, guys, it was happening the whole fucking time. And then it finally took Asha to come out and actually say exactly what I've been saying happened. She said it herself. So it's already happened. Now, let's see what she can do with it. That's all I'm trying to say. So anyways. I know, yeah, the consumers are stretched, man. It's a situation. Hey, Pushing Polygons, how you doing? So let's see what she can do, all right? All right, let's give her, let's, I know not a lot of people are going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I said it on Crossfire last night. I said, let her shoot her shot, man. I go, let's see what she's got. Let's see what she can do with this thing. I'm willing to give her that chance. I go, just do something. Let's see what you got. And a lot of people in that chat and the panel disagree with me, and that's totally cool. But I'm just saying, for myself, let her take her shot. So anyways, that's where we're going to leave it. We'll leave it on a nice positive note. You know what I'm saying? Let her do her thing. But anyways, folks, we've got to go watch the World Cup right now, folks. So shout out to any people from Paraguay who are listening. There's probably not a lot, but I bet you there's a lot of people from the United States of America that are listening right now. So let's go USA. Cheers for USA for the game. Thank you guys all for being here for Friday Night Live. Like I said, once in a while, if there's a lot of news here, this is something I was going to actually say, a little public service announcement here. Friday Night Live is normally like game streaming, and then of course I do a little bit of talking with the community and all that kind of stuff. But when there's like a week like this, Italia gangsters in the house, let's go!
Gringe!
There you go, Italia gangster, that's just for you. So, I got a soundbite for almost everybody out here, man. I'm trying. Shout out to the almost 250 people we had watching live, by the way, on the show tonight. We're still at almost 200 people now. I mean, unless my numbers haven't changed, but, Streamlabs has been acting kind of funky ever since that big update, but we'll see. But either way, if there's a lot of news during the week and it's after MAGCAST, like, how the fuck can we not sit down and talk about this stuff? You know what I'm saying? So we got to talk about it. SJM, how you doing, man? So yeah, like if there's like a whatever, if there's news out there and it's not really that big or whatever, we just do our normal streaming as we normally do. We might do some community gaming stuff like the Forza Horizon stuff, or I play 007 or whatever we're gonna do, right? Lego Batman, whatever. In the future, Halo. We're also obviously we're gonna be doing Assassin's Creed Black Flag Day 1 of the channel here, courtesy of the community. For David Merrifield, how you doing, man? And so QMax, your soundbite. Well, you got to hit me up with one that I can actually put in there. See, look, even Diamond Eyes has one. Listen to this. Diamond Eyes. Oh yeah, Diamond Eyes. You see? Even he has one. I mean, I kind of cheated because Dallas Abo always gets that one. So there's a bit of that. Fuck yeah, QMax. Of course we're going to be drinking at the Toronto Fan Fest. When I get more information about the Toronto Fan Fest, I'm going to email Aaron Greenberg early next week, and I'm going to see if he's got more info. I'm sure he's got the information, but he's probably not allowed to say. But I'll email him anyway, and I want to see what's going on with all that. So we'll see if I can get some more information. When we get that information, then we can start making plans. So yeah, we'll see that. Don't cross the streams, Ghostbusters. You know how it goes. But anyways, folks. All right, guys. Everybody have yourself a great night. Listen, and so like I said, if there's a heavy news week, the Friday Night Live will be a podcast. Will be a MAGCAST. And maybe once in a while I can even get a guest to jump on here. You never know. We'll see how it all goes down. But if it's a slower news week, obviously I'll be doing my videos. Obviously I do MAGCAST and XNC, and then we'll just stream. We'll just do some game streaming, right? But like I said, but if we have a heavy news week like this week, how the hell can I not stream? You know what I'm saying? Dallas, there you are, buddy. There's Dallas in the chat right now. Hey, Beast Mode, maybe we'll do Forza next week then. I can't do it this weekend. This weekend I'm busy. But next weekend, I think maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do Forza. I'll put it up in the poll and see what the maggots think. So, anyways, everyone, have yourself a wonderful night, guys. Stay magnificent. Have a great weekend. And then we'll see you guys all on XNC on Colt Eastwood's channel on Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll catch you all then. All right, so thank you guys all. Thank you, Iron Storm. Appreciate that. And yes, thank you guys all for the support, the super chats, the member chats, everything else that we do, the gifted members, and of course, just being here and listening. It's so awesome to have you guys all here. And yeah, hit that like button and all that jazz. I'm not one to like harp on that shit, but just do what you got to do. And thank you guys all for the support, man. I appreciate all of it. So love you guys, and we'll talk to you all later. Have a great weekend. Bye now.